fall, football, Friday Night Lights. High school football on KSUU Thunder 91.1 is brought to you by Hermes Drive-In, by Township Pharmacy, Wendy's, Ogden's Flooring and Design, and by Brad's Food Hut. With kickoff just moments away, let's head to the field for tonight's gridiron action on Thunder 91.1.
Friday night in St. George at Desert Hills High School. The Reds take on the Thunder. Ryan Steinekert here with Parker Haney, and it's senior night for the Thunder. It's a big night in Region 9 play. Parker, let's talk about that, just what this game may mean, a win or a loss here for either of these teams.
Yeah, we're just talking about seeding. You know, it's the difference between home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs and traveling up north, or maybe down here to St. George, but probably up north for your first playoff game. And it's a big thing, especially where these schools, where Region 9, I guess, is so close together, where the longest bus trip you're going to have is 45 minutes. And for most of these St. George schools, the longest trip they have is, the longest trip they'll have is 45 minutes, but most of their games are, within 10 minutes of each other. So having to travel 3-4 hours up to a school up north is definitely going to be huge. So there's a lot on the line tonight when we're talking about seeding. Obviously, the rest of the season still has to play out, but yeah, definitely a big matchup here for the Cedar Reds and the Desert Hills Thunder.
Cedar Reds come in at 4-3 after last week's just dominant win against Canyon View. That was at Southern Utah University. Thunder Hills, or Desert Hills rather, comes in at 2-5 overall and a 1-3 record in the region. Cedar at 2-2. Region records aren't quite as meaningful because of the RPI, but the wins, total wins and losses are what really it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, this one's going to be a fun one, and all throughout Region 9. Pineview and Snow Canyon, both undefeated in the region, are playing tonight. And then Canyon View is playing Hurricane as well, which is going to be another big one. Just big matchups all over Region 9, and it's really going to be a fun one. Talking to the coaches a little bit pregame, and when you look at Desert Hills' record, they're 1-3 in region, but that's because the top 3 teams in region are Snow Canyon, Pineview, and Dixie, and that was Desert Hills' first 3 games. So when I went down to talk to the Cedar coaches, I said, "Hey, is this team a bad team, or did they just play really good teams throughout the preseason and then in Region 9?" And he said, "They're a very good ball team who have had a really tough schedule. So they're a very strong 2-5 team," is what defensive coordinator Mark Eswin said to me. So a tough team. The Reds have their handful, and as we know, Cedar is obviously a good team as well. Like you said, coming off a dominant victory against Canyon View, things are rolling. Felt like things are going in the right direction. Their quarterback, Darren Garrett, firing on all cylinders. So it's going to be a fun one here tonight.
This is the Wendy's pregame show. We'll take a quick moment to hear from Wendy's and be right back on Thunder 91.
Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane.
All right, our apologies on some technical issues tonight, but we welcome you to Desert Hills High School, where tonight the Cedar Reds take on the Desert Hills Thunder. And Parker, we've got an important game for both these teams tonight at Desert Hills on senior night.
Yeah, senior night here at Desert Hills. Captains are taking the field now. SU Flight School just dropped off the game ball. It's really going to be a fun one. As we were stating a little bit earlier, not sure if you guys heard, like we were saying, a little bit of technical difficulties, but going to be a big game as far as seeding goes. It can be the difference between home field advantage in the first round and having to travel somewhere in the first round. So it's going to be a big game. Both of these teams are going to come out and want to get a win. And Desert Hills has had it a little bit rough. They've had a very tough schedule. Their first 3 games in Region 9 were against the top 3 teams in Region 9, and they held up fairly well. Snow Canyon, who is number 1 in region, just barely beat Desert Hills by a touchdown last week. Desert Hills had a few opportunities there at the end to tie it and were unable to do so. They got shut out against Dixie 13-0, but were on the goal line multiple times. So this is a Desert Hills team that kind of feels like they have something to prove with a 2-5 record, but a very good team and ready to get after it. Cedar coming off of a hot win against Canyon View. Very dominant, very prolific night as far as offense goes, and it's going to be a fun one.
Cedar comes in at 4-3 overall, 2-2 in Region 9. Desert Hills 2-5 overall, a 1-3 Region 9 record. And Desert Hills, this is interesting. They expected their defense to be pretty solid this year. 9 returning starters under Wes Nunley, the defensive coordinator. They run a 4-3 defense. And as for the offense, Mark Murdoch, who is the head coach, they've got 4 returners on the offensive line. So that figured to be a strength with this team. But so far, And as you mentioned, they faced the gauntlet in those first 3 games of Region 9, but so far scoring 19 points a game, allowing almost 28. As for Cedar, especially after last week's 64-16 rout of Canyon View, the Reds averaging 35 a game and allowing 25.5 in Region 9 contests.
Yep, this one's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to get into it, and Desert Hills will be kicking off to the Reds to start the ball game.
So Cedar to receive this kickoff tonight in Region 9 action. Canyon View, a big one at Hurricane. You've got Dixie versus Crimson Cliffs. And then, of course, a big one between the top 2 teams in the region. Snow Canyon is at Pineview. Desert Hills in the home black uniforms, white helmets, gold trim around the different parts of that uniform, including around the numbers. Left-footed kick, deep. Braxton Torres fields at the 3. Cedar is off and running left to right from our view. Straight arm at the 20, to the 30, out around the left corner to the 35. Ridden down out of bounds, right about there at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that's a nice little run there to start the game from Torres. Got the ball, like you said, about the 3-yard line and had a defender unblocked waiting for him at the 20-yard line. Gave him a nice little stiff arm and skirted around the outside.
First quarter just underway. Again, we may have missed some of that Wendy's pregame show, but we think Wendy's, they're proud to bring this broadcast your way. There's the whistle, and Jaron Garrett in the shotgun with 3 receivers right, 2 out, 1 out to the left, and Brinkerhoff, that's Seth Brinkerhoff, the senior running back, on his right hip. Longer count, little movement on the defensive line, but they don't jump. Give to Brinkerhoff left side. He finds some room to the 40 and picks up almost 6.
Yeah, trips right formation to start the game for Cedar. It's a simple zone left, and Cedar's O-line blocked it well. Brinkerhoff able to get a nice 5 yards.
Brinkerhoff, the second leading rusher on the team, with now 311 yards, including 5 yards on first down. 2nd and 5, ball on the left hash. Garrett looking to the far sideline. Sun has just gone down, so things starting to cool off a little bit from a 93-degree kickoff or 7 p.m. kickoff time. Throw right side to Torres. The route jumped, almost picked off, deflected, and incomplete.
Yeah, that was Cy Nunley that almost jumped in front of that ball. Read it perfectly, and that could have been 6 points.
Jaron Garrett, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions thrown this season, 1,606 yards. He's completing 64% of his passes. On pace for about what he did last year, 23 touchdowns. And was it 3,100 yards? 3rd down and 5. And snap, fake handoff to Brinkerhoff, and Garrett sandwiched in the backfield. All kinds of Thunder defenders back there, and Garrett has nowhere to go.
Yeah, just tried to go for the counter there, fake the handoff to Brinkerhoff, and then go to the left side, and Desert Hills blitzed off of their right side, Cedar's left side, and had 2 defenders waiting there for Garrett.
So the Reds, first drive, they got a good 5 yards on first down, and then went backwards 3 yards after that. 4th and 8, Reds punted away. Nice high, wobbly spiral off toward the far sideline. A Cedar bounce, stays in right on the sideline inside the 30 of the 25.
Yeah, that's a nice punt. Desert Hills will have the ball on their own 25 to start their offensive outing.
Desert Hills last year, 3rd place finish in Region 9 with a 5-2 record in the region. They went 5-5 overall. And a new quarterback at the helm. Noah, say that again for me.
We talked to the Desert Hills PA, and he said it was Noah Fuilatolo.
Fuilatolo, just a sophomore. He and Hunter Bentley, it was in camp, there was a quarterback battle. Bentley has played some. Fuilatolo's had more playing time. From the shotgun, he heaves it deep down the left sideline. Cedar's Jack Cook has position and makes taken away by the Thunder Hills receiver, Austin Turnbow. Cook had position but couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, what a great play there by Turnbow. Jack Cook was in perfect position, actually came down with the ball, and then Turnbow ripped it from him, and that's a great first play there from scrimmage.
38 yards on the catch. Most of that was the ball in the air on the throw from Fuilatolo. Give up the middle, couple yards, not much more. Zach Ford, not a real big running back, sophomore, 4.7 yards per carry, picks up 2.
Yeah, not a not a real big running back is kind of an understatement. He is by far the smallest one on the field, but he runs hard.
That puts him over the 400-yard mark on the season. Fake handoff to him. Fuilatolo flush to his left side, tucks and steps out of bounds at the 30. Gain of 5 will bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, that's nice defense there by Cedar. Fuilatolo does a nice job of showing his athleticism and skirting to the outside, but nice job there by Cedar to stay with him and limit his game.
Noah Fuilatolo, 51% completion percentage, just over 1,000 yards passing. Turns, fakes the handoff, looks over the middle, flush right, cuts back to his left, heaves it downfield, wide open at the 10-5, touchdown, Desert Hills.
Number 18, Josh Crandall, who kept moving, saw that his quarterback was scrambling, so kept his feet alive, turned around, and his quarterback was able to find him. Fuilatolo had that ball for a long time. Cedar has to get more pressure right there. They have to make him give that ball up to the read that he was supposed to. That's just a great play by Fuilatolo, and it turns into 6 points for the Thunder. They strike first.
That's the type of play we're used to seeing from Jaron Garrett, keeping the play alive with his feet. Kick is up and just good left side, and Desert Hills leads 7-0.
9:23 left on the clock in the first quarter, and Desert Hills scores on their first drive of offense. I mean, that's just big plays. I feel like I say that all the time. But they had a big first play, that pass down the left sideline, and then Cedar actually did a nice job. They bottled him up, didn't let him get into a rhythm offensively, and then on a 3rd and short, Fuilatolo just does a nice job extending the play and finds his man in the end zone.
First quarter, 9:23 left to play. That was about 1 minute and 8 seconds off the clock. 4 plays, 75 yards. PAT was good. 7-0 Desert Hills. This first quarter presented by Ogden's Flooring and Design at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar. Kicking off, Hunter Bentley, the backup quarterback. And he boots it again with the left foot. This one deep. Got a good foot on that one. It bounces 9 yards deep into the end zone and out of the back of the end zone.
So Garrett will retake the field starting on his own 20. And he'll see if he can get into a rhythm. 0 for 1 on that first drive, and then a tackle for a loss on that zone read. So we'll see if Garrett can get into a rhythm here on his second drive.
2 receivers left, 2 wide right, 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Cedar trailing 7-0. You're on Thunder 91. We've got a low-budget video stream going. If you're interested in tuning in, you can watch for free on SUUnews.net. Braxton Torres in motion. Garrett fakes the handoff to him, keeps it himself, breaks 1 tackle, gets out to the 21, 22, and stopped there. Maybe a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, they're going to have to open up the back of the field. They got to throw it deep to Colby Wyatt or to Jack Cook or something, but Desert Hills has, they're stacking the box with 6 guys right now, and 7 guys actually. They've brought up another one. But yeah, they're just getting kind of blown off the line, and Desert Hills is in the backfield constantly.
Again, 2 receivers left, 2 wide right in the spread. 1 back formation with Brinkerhoff back there. Torres in motion, left to right. Garrett fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. He's caught from the side and gains just 1 to the 24.
Now we're in another 3rd and long situation for Garrett. Back-to-back designed runs for him. That one was a speed option, but decided to tuck it and run. So we'll see if they go to the air here. Twins formation.
Garrett has been averaging 9 yards per carry this season, running the football. So far in this game, 3 carries, 1 yard. That includes the sack earlier on the first possession. Desert Hills showing some pressure up the middle. Garrett throws. He's got Jack Cook. Makes the catch at his knees and picks up a couple more to the 35 and a first down.
Yeah, that's just a great grab by Jack Cook. That ball was not thrown well by Garrett. A little bit behind and very low. Jack Cook scooped it up before it hit the turf and has first down yardage.
Garrett looks again to the sideline, trips left, ball in the middle of the field. Reds attacking left to right from our view. That's north to south. Garrett back, quarterback keeper. He's got some room right side, big blocking across the 50, down the right sideline to the 40, lowers his shoulder and goes down there at about the 40 of Desert Hills.
It's a beautiful QB draw there by Garrett. A great block by Seth Brinkerhoff, who led up the middle, hit the middle linebacker, and Garrett was able to get out to the right side, turn it into a big gain. Beautiful QB draw there for the Reds.
25 yards on the quarterback keeper. Trips to the left. Ball on the right hash. Reds knocking on the door at the 40. Hard count and some movement from Desert Hills, but not into the neutral zone. Cedar. Brinkerhoff moves to Garrett's right hip. They look to the sideline again, and he moves back to the left hip. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Give to Brinkerhoff left side. Big hole. He makes something of it inside the 35. Hit at the 30 and drives to close to the 29.
It's going to be close to a first down, and it is a first down. They will move the chains. Yeah, Desert Hills brought that blitz. That was pretty interesting. That's a veteran move by the senior quarterback, Jaron Garrett. Looked over to the sideline, said, hey, they're blitzing from this side. Let's change the play call. And he got a different play call, and it worked.
2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Colby White and Jack Cook on the right side. Low snap, Garrett gets it. Plays throw, fakes the throw, then throws down the seam, in and out of the hands of Braxton Torres. Puts his hands on his knees, knowing he just dropped 6 points.
Yeah, that is a touchdown. Nice play by Garrett, keeping his eyes downfield, and then a nice route by Braxton Torres to get open. Had at least an arm's length on his defender and hit him right in the hands. Couldn't bring it in.
And Garrett delivered it on the money. Just led Torres right out in front of the receiver. Almost like you talk about guys like Patrick Mahomes who throw their receivers open. Garrett did it that time. 2nd down and 10. Garrett back to throw, looking left and fires in the flat. Torres the catch, and I like that, going right back to the guy who just dropped it. Give his confidence back.
Yeah, love that by Garrett. You know, well, had 2 receivers open, both of the out routes. Went back to Torres, said, hey, you caught a lot of passes for me. You made a lot of big plays for this offense. We need you tonight.
So a 3rd down and 3 after that gain of 7. Ball on the left hash. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Garrett, a bit of a longer count, looks again to the sideline.
Desert Hills bringing pressure. Both linebackers crowding the line. They may drop back into a coverage.
Desert Hills has produced some pretty good pass rushers in the past. Snap, option left side. Brinkerhoff first down and a little bit more. On the sideline, dives forward close to the 16.
Yeah, that's another veteran play by Garrett. He had the hard count, let Desert Hills show their hand, looked over, got a different play call, and then the play call was actually for the lineman to just fall down and essentially chop block. It's illegal, but essentially chop block the front lineman, and it stopped the backers from rushing as well. Turned into a first down.
6 yards. Brinkerhoff, 3 carries, 21 yards in the game. 1st and 10. Cedar, ball on the left hash, trips right. The wide side of the field for the Reds. Garrett fakes the handoff, looks downfield, nothing there. Starts forward, goes back, then he's sandwiched and brought down back around the 23.
Yeah, that's a coverage sack there for the Desert Hills secondary. Garrett had all kinds of time looking around, couldn't find anybody open. Desert Hills eventually gets to him.
So a 2nd down and 15 after that loss of 5. They spot it back at the 22. Again, trips right with the ball on the left hash. Reds at the 22-yard line of Desert Hills. The Thunder leads 7-0 here on Thunder 91. Reds get the snap, give to Brinkerhoff. Starts left, dances back inside. Crosses the 20, down to about the 17.
Just heard a Desert Hills audience member say, hey, watch the delay of game, ref, as if they didn't have a constant count going.
And it was as the fan said that, the ref started to count that 5, right. That back judge.
Pretty much the only call that isn't up to interpretation. It's the one call that's pretty
cut and dry.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry. You just have a stopwatch.
40 seconds. It is 40 seconds. Third down and 11. Torres in motion. Garrett looks left, setting up the screen, and the pressure gets there. Knocked the pass down, and Garrett starts 2 of 5 for 18 yards so far.
Yeah, that was number 33, Taven Mortensen, who was able to bring that pressure off the left side, and the low ball just didn't get through his hands. Nice play there by Mortensen.
So Cedar will set up to kick the field goal. Edgar Hernandez Hinojosa to attempt what looks like a 35-yard field goal attempt. The hold is good. Hinojosa boots it. Boy, he got a lot on that, and it is through. That would have been good from 45 and maybe more. He knocks it through, and Cedar's on the board trailing 7-3.
Yeah, great kick there. I'm really interested. I wish I could have talked to Bennett. When I saw him on the field, he was talking to the officials, but I wonder if they're straight up just trying to play a game of possession. They're waiting until the official counts every time in order to snap the ball. So I wonder if they're just trying to keep the ball out of Desert Hill's hands, which is a little bit interesting to me because I don't think there's anything wrong with Cedar's defense. I think their defense does a nice job, and Mark Esplin always has a good game plan. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward. Maybe they're just taking a long time getting the call in, but from what I saw on that drive, it kind of looked like Cedar was trying to hold on to the ball and keep it out of Desert Hill's hands with a long, methodical drive.
Desert Hills, they went scoreless against Dixie so far overall this season, scoring less than 20 points a game, but maybe there's something in the film, some speed in the wide receiver core that we're not quite aware of yet.
Yeah, interesting strategy on that possession. We'll see if it continues throughout the game. And they didn't try and stretch the field either. We saw last game against Canyon View, one of the first plays from scrimmage was a deep ball to Colby White.
Hernandez Hinojosa kicks it deep, fielded at the 11. It was a high kick and not much return room out to the 25, 26-yard line. Goes, is that Jacob Wilkins?
I didn't see the number, the 20. I didn't get his number.
At the 25-yard line. It wasn't the deep return man who fielded that kick. That's how high it was. That next level guy backed up and fielded it.
So same field position they had on their touchdown scoring drive from the 25.
That last drive, 4 plays to go 75 yards. Cedar's defense looking to step it up on this possession. Fuilatolo, 2 for 2, 68 yards and a touchdown on that first drive. Man in motion. Fuilatolo fakes there, gives to the diminutive Zach Ford, and he's wrapped up and stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's a nice tackle there by Peyton Murray, knowing that he's a little man and hard to bring down, grabs him and immediately just falls to the ground. If you try and battle with him or get a better grip on him, he's going to run away from you.
And how about Peyton Murray this season? He came into the game with 56 tackles leading the team. Fuilatolo on second down, back to throw. Moves right, then to his left, back to his right, looking for an open man, still looking, holds, then tucks and gains a couple before he's wrapped up and taken down.
Finally, Trey Payne gets to him. You hit it right on the head. This is exactly what we usually see from Jaron Garrett. Just extending plays, holding the ball behind the line of scrimmage for 6-7 seconds. Cedar's D-line has to figure out something in order to slow down Fuilatolo.
He's back to throw again, flushed out, still keeping his eyes downfield. Tucks, he's running for the first down and barely gets there. Lowers the shoulder and crosses the 35, but a flag down will probably bring this back.
Yeah, we have a blind side block on Desert Hills. A new rule this year. I see a lot of Desert Hills audience fans a little upset, but it's a blind side block. So if the defender is not looking, or in other words, illegal blind side block, or in other words is defenseless, you're not allowed to hit him with full strength. You kind of just have to run in front of him and stay in front of him. Otherwise, it will be an illegal blindside block. So that's a 15-yard penalty. That brings the ball all the way back to the 21-yard line. Makes for a long third down.
15 yards from the end of the play, which was right at the first down marker, the 35. Brings up a 3rd and 15 for Fuilatolo, the sophomore quarterback on this Desert Hills Thunder team. Desert Hills won 2 state titles this decade. Fuilatolo throws right, caught by Crandall. He's wrapped up quickly and brought down at the 30, a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, that's good defense there by the Reds, knowing down and distance, knowing that it's a long third down, so just keep everything in front of you. Don't let any receivers get behind you, And that was just a short slant route, and Cedar did a nice job keeping it in front of them. So
state titles in 2013 and in 2016 for Desert Hills. You may have heard of a guy named Penny Sewell. Do you know who that is? Is that how I say his last name right? Oregon Duck lineman. Expected to be one of the top picks in this spring's NFL draft. Punt gets away barely. It's a low line drive. Takes a Desert Hills bounce and a slow roll. Kicked at the 32, and that's where it's down with a flag.
Ref threw a flag.
As Hendrick Lusk came down to cover it, he gave it a little boot, and I wonder if that's some kind of a infraction.
Unsportsmanlike conduct maybe, but I didn't think it was necessarily intentional, but we'll see.
What did they call?
I don't know what this is.
Oh, go ahead.
Illegal touching against the Thunder, so yeah, just an incidental play. He kicked the ball a little farther. It looked like just a 10-yard penalty, 5-yard penalty.
10 yards to the Cedar from their own 43. First quarter, 1:55 remaining. Cedar leads trails 7-3.
And when we get a minute, I do have a story about Penny Sewell. He was just a year younger than me.
Garrett fakes the handoff, looking for room on his right. Throws incomplete, in and out of the hands of Trey. No, that's not Trey Payne, is it? It was Savai Dotson.
Savai Dotson in at tight end, ran that route. Kind of got popped on that route, but was unable to hold onto the ball. Penny Sewell just a year younger than me, so he's a junior when I was a senior. And the opening clip of his junior campaign highlight reel was him chucking me through the air like a rag doll. So that was fun.
Garrett to throw. Out to the left side. Hangs his man up to dry a little bit, but what a catch by Colby White for about 5.
Colby White hauls it in. Like you said, it was a little bit high, so opens up his rib cage.
5 yards. 3rd down and 5. Reds. Ball on the left hash. Right near midfield, their own 48-yard line. Garrett, a bit of a slow start, just 3 of 7 for 23 yards through the air. Taking their time once again. Brinkerhoff to the right hip of Garrett, man in motion, and they get the snap off just before a delay of game. Set up screen, Brinkerhoff left side, and the one man there fights through the blockers and makes the tackle for a very short gain.
Yeah, that was number 9, Jacob Wilkins, who didn't necessarily read the screen, but saw all the linemen standing there, and like you said, just powered his way through and made the tackle on Seth Brinkerhoff. Huge play there by Wilkins.
Brinkerhoff had been averaging 17 yards per reception prior to that 1-yard gain. 4th and 4, Cedar punting with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. An end-over-end punt that goes out of bounds. Not a very long punt because of the direction. Out of bounds on the far sideline.
This first quarter is brought to you by Ogden's Flooring and Design. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions you have about their flooring. Thank you to Ogden's Flooring and Design for sponsoring this first quarter.
Trips out to the left for Desert Hills, attacking south to north here in St. George. Lights are on for Friday night. One receiver wide right. Fuilatolo back to throw, sets up the screen, and he has nowhere to go. A couple Reds read it perfectly.
Yeah, another screen there, and that was Ben Ellis who read that one perfectly. That's the middle linebacker. When he sees all of those linemen release, he knows that he's got to come for it.
Fuilatolo, 4 for 4, 75 yards in that first quarter. And Desert Hills leads 7-3 here on Thunder 91. We'll take a quick timeout and be back with second quarter action on Thunder 91.
Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
7-3, Desert Hills with the lead over the Cedar Reds. Hernandez Hinojosa hit a 35-yard field goal to get Cedar on the board. And Thunder Hills scored on a 30-yard touchdown from Fuilatolo to Josh Crandall. Second down and 12. Thunder with the football, man in motion right to left, and the give to Ford, right side. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and dives, reaches out for a gain of about 3.
I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think you're allowed to. Oh, there we go. Playing music from the PA system while the play was going on. Yeah, it's just been big plays for Desert Hills. If Cedar can limit giving up those big plays, they stifled Desert Hills last time.
Fuilatolo throws right and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Josh Crandall again, and that's a throw a little too tall for the senior.
Yeah, Crandall had first down yardage and really should have brought it in, went through his hands. It was a little high and outside, but should have brought that one in. Maybe had a little too much heat on it from Fuilatolo. So yeah, you limit those big plays, and really it should be a 3-0 ball game. Cedar has done a nice job slowing down Desert Hills' offense. Again, as long as they don't give up those big plays. Desert Hills now on the punt in a strange formation.
Strange 3 receivers type of a situation on the left side, and the punt with the left foot almost blocked by Cedar. A high end over end, and Jack Cook fair catch at the 35 of Cedar.
Yeah, and that was Charlie Cook who was right there. The reason it looked so close to me was because Charlie Cook was coming from the right side, which is the punter's left side, and he kicked it with his left foot. I thought that Charlie Cook might have had a chance at blocking that ball.
So Cook fair caught that at the 37. Cedar first and 10 from there. They've started drives at their own 34 and punted. They started their own 20 and kicked a field goal, their own 43, and had to punt on 3 and out. Reds here in the second quarter, attacking right to left from our view.
Just have to be able to sustain a drive here. They're taking a long time, waiting for the play call, just have to be able to sustain it. Trips left now, Brinkerhoff on Jaren's left hip.
Right to left, it's like the hokey pokey. Now he's on the left side. Garrett gives to Brinkerhoff, starts up the middle, bounces right side, big room, 45-50 to the 45-40, ridden out of bounds about the 35-yard line. Brinkerhoff, one of his bigger rushes of the season.
I love, love, love that play design. Trips left, have everybody moving to the left in your offense. Pull one guard back around the outside and let him and Brinkerhoff go to work. Nice run there by Brinkerhoff and great play call there by Josh Bennett.
26 yards on the carry. Seth Brinkerhoff, 31 yards on 4 carries in the game. First and 10 Cedar at the 37 of Desert Hills. Garrett moves Brinkerhoff to his left hip and takes the shotgun snap, but a flag flies.
Little bit of movement, I believe.
The type of typical situation here is a false start.
Oh.
Encroachment.
Wow.
Interesting.
I thought there could have been 2 or 3 plays that they called encroachment on, but not that one. So that's interesting. Cedar will get a free 5 yards, and now we have first and 5.
And I gave you bad stats for Seth Brinkerhoff. I'll update that for you here in a second after that 26-yard run. Garrett from the shotgun. Pressure coming. He's it deep down the left sideline looking for Braxton Torres and almost picked off. Cedar fortunate it wasn't intercepted in the end zone.
Yeah, Torres ended up actually playing defense on that play. Torres not as tall as Colby White is. I think if you're taking a shot towards the end zone, you got to throw that up to Colby White.
So Seth Brinkerhoff, 52 yards on 5 carries after that 26-yard gain. But 2nd down and 5. 2 receivers right, left, 2 left. Give again to Brinkerhoff, this time left side and slicing into the backfield. The defense wraps up Brinkerhoff for a minimal gain.
Yeah, that's Cy Nunley, who actually had 65 tackles coming into tonight. Another great play there. Brinkerhoff was looking to spring another big run. Nunley able to get through the line and tackle him.
Just a 1-yard gain, so 3rd down and 4. Reds, a lot of pressure coming up the middle. Reds pick it up for the moment. Garrett flushed right. Looking to throw, nope, tucks and runs, dives forward, and it looks like he has the first down as long as he didn't step out.
Man, I said, oh no, he's going to get forced out of bounds before he gets to the first down marker. But Garrett said, no way, I'm getting this first down, tucked his head and plowed through for another 5 yards. A lot of cornerbacks don't want to hit you when you duck your head like that.
So a first down at the 25. Cedar trails 7-3 for 2nd quarter. Garrett gives to Brinkerhoff, right side, big hole. Starts out, cuts back in at the 10, the 5. Brinkerhoff to the house. Touchdown, Reds. Cedar takes the lead.
What a beautiful run by Seth Brinkerhoff. I am thoroughly impressed with the way that he is running the ball. Before, I feel like he used to be so bottled up. He used to just run where the play was designed to run. But on these last few drives, he's been cutting, he's been seeing what the defense is giving him, and he's been doing a great job of turning it into positive yards. Another beautiful touchdown run for Seth Brinkerhoff. Kick is up and through from Hina Sosa, and that makes it 10-7 with 10 minutes left in this first half. Beautiful drive there from Cedar. Getting it done on the ground, which I feel like we don't say often when we're talking about this Reds offense.
That drive alone almost for Seth Brinkerhoff takes him in yardage into first place for this Cedar Reds team. That puts him ahead of Jaron Garrett rushing. 5 plays, 63 yards, and just a minute and 15 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, again, beautiful drive there by the Reds.
Right sideline, 1 or 2 men to beat. He can't quite get past them, but clear out to the 45. Turnbow from the 1 and a big return.
Yeah, that is always dangerous when there is a penalty marker down. We will let you know what that is.
It would be a 44-yard return, but it's against Desert Hills, a sideline warning, so that won't affect the field position.
Yeah, again, like I was saying, it's always dangerous when the kick returner gets wrapped up and then comes out in a different direction. It's pretty rare, and the return team doesn't know what to do with it.
Puilatolo pressured, and he will go down, whipped to the turf for the sack.
Who else but Peyton Murray? A beautiful play design, a beautiful blitz package there from Esplin. Has 2 linebackers going through the same gap. First linebacker gets picked up nicely by the running back, and then all of a sudden there's another one right in Puilatolo's face.
4th sack of the season for Peyton Murray. Puilatolo at his own 35 from the shotgun. Pressured, runs to his right, finds some room and slides down, and a flag flies in. Late contact from the Reds will probably be a personal foul.
I thought there could have been a holding back there on Trayton Ping, but I agree with you. I think this may be a personal foul against the Reds for unnecessary roughness.
Such a tough thing. Personal foul against Cedar, but as a defender, you're coming in, you've got to make the hit, and then as soon as he starts to slide, tough to come out of that motion of making the tackle.
Yeah. Unfortunate timing on there, especially right after a sack, and then all of a sudden they have first down in your own territory.
Well, we apologize if we're having some technical issues. The internet here giving us a little bit of trouble at Desert Hills. Ford to the right side on the carry, picks up a few. So Ford picks up about 4. He's got 9 yards on 4 carries. Second down and 6. Fuilatolo back and heaves it deep down the left sideline. Up for grabs. The Reds, I think, have it. Jack Cook about the 3. I thought I saw a flag fly down around the 20.
There is a flag down, but I did see the Whitecap look over at Cedar's sideline to get, I'm assuming, their answer if they wanted to accept or decline the penalty. I'm not sure, but Jack Cook did come down with that ball on about the 1-yard line. And now I believe that's Jack Cook who's hobbling off the field. An apparent lower body injury is what it looks like.
Holding against Cedar. So a defensive holding keeps the possession in the hands of Desert Hills and gives them a first down.
Haven't seen the Reds really struggle with penalties in this season. I feel like, there have been sporadic here and there, but 2 huge penalties coming on this drive, keeping Desert Hills drive alive.
Puts them 1st and 10 at the Cedar 26-yard line. The snap, give to Ford left side, and he cannot get away from that one tackler slicing into the backfield.
Yeah, that's a great tackle there by Samaya Sianoy. Did a nice job there bringing down the highly elusive Ford.
So a 1-yard gain to the 26. The line of scrimmage was the 27. Second down and 9. Ball in the left hash, trips right. And Fuilatolo in the shotgun. Gives again to Ford. It's a double reverse around the left side and some room to run. Turnbow to the 20, 15. Leaps a defender out of bounds at about the 10.
That was Fuilatolo. So on the double reverse, Fuilatolo actually turns into a lead blocker and absolutely laid the wood on that cornerback. A complete pancake block around the outside, a huge block from the sophomore quarterback.
14 yards for Braxton Turnbow. That's his 6th carry of the season for about 50 yards. Snap, Fuilatolo gives to Ford. He makes a couple guys miss and then gets down close to the 10. A short gain, 1-2 yards.
Nice work there by Cedar, gang tackling. Realizes that Ford is very shifty, and you're going to have to send multiple guys his way if you want to slow him down.
They'll spot him at the 11. Second down and 10. Desert Hills trails 10-7. The Reds on top. Fuilatolo back looking to throw. Flushed out, steps up. He's got some room to the 5. Hit at the knees, and could be a bad hit, but looks like he's okay at the 5-yard line.
It's decision time. He brings up 4th down, yeah?
3rd.
3rd down, my apologies. So it brings up a 3rd and about 4 for the Thunder.
New running back in there is Cy Nunley. If I saw correctly, number 21 on the left hip. Not much taller than Ford, but a little wider. Nunley gets the handoff and has nothing. Stays on his feet and adds a little, makes something to the 2 or 3.
Yeah, he got hit about 3 yards behind the field and turns it into a 1 or 2 yard gain. So now it's decision time for the Thunder. And I think they'll take a timeout to talk about what they want to do here. A 4th and 1 from the 4-yard line is what it looks like. So can still get a first down without, there's an injured player, my apologies. Injured player for the Reds, but still can get a first down without having to score here for the Thunder.
We'll take an injury timeout as well and hear from a couple of our underwriters. Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drugs, second quarter on Thunder 91.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening.
We're going to cut away from that Wendy's message and jump back into the game. The decision time, Parker says. Well, the decision is go for it. Fuilatolo dives up the middle. He's got the first down and close to the end zone. Stopped just short of the goal line, but that will move the chains. On a quick snap, quarterback keeper just diving up the middle.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that's a tough spot for the Reds to be in. You got a 4th and 1, and they can still get the first down, and now they have 1st and goal from the 3-yard line, and it's going to be tough to keep them out of the end zone here.
Ford, the deep man, he gets the handoff, breaks the tackle, dives inside the 1, but no touchdown.
Nice tackle there by Ben Ellis, getting inside, so brings up a 2nd down and goal. So done a nice job thus far. I think your best running back is Fuitalolo in this situation.
He's in the shotgun with trips out to the left. Here's the snap, and Fuilatolo keeps it wrapped up. He's fighting but can't get to the end zone and stopped well short.
Great play by Cedar's defense. Wasn't even a blitz call. That was just Trayton Payne beating his man off the line. Or excuse me, that's Trayton Payne who was the read man. So that was a zone read to the left. And Fuitalolo decided to keep it, and Payne just made a good play, stopping him in the backfield.
Loss of 2. 3rd and goal. Fuilatolo back to throw. Flushed, he drives forward and still on his feet. 2 flags fly in. He's stopped short of the goal line.
I saw a Desert Hills player signaling face mask, so we could not see it from where we were, but get the play call here soon. 2 flags came in immediately, almost at the same time, so it could have been a face mask that they both saw at the same time.
And if that's a personal foul against Cedar, that would be an automatic first down and give Desert Hills 4 more downs inside the 3. The penalty is a face mask or a personal foul against Cedar.
So they had an unsportsmanlike conduct late hit, which turned into a first down. Then they had an interception, but it was a defensive holding, so that turned into a first down and loss of possession. And now we have a face mask, which turns into another first down. This has been a horrible drive as far as defensive penalties go for the Reds.
Down marker says 3rd. It should be 1st after the personal foul. Give up the middle and nothing for Ford. He goes nowhere. Just that Cedar defense is getting all kinds of penetration into the backfield on these runs.
And these Desert Hills fans are bent out of shape. They keep giving this ball to Ford when he's so little, and he's just not getting it done. A little bit of a change of personnel. Apparently it is still 4th down. I thought it should have been an automatic first down.
They're going to kick the field goal on a personal foul. It's automatic first down. This is either the rule changed or this is a lapse in, and maybe the line judge on that side, he just blew the whistle and called time, or is Cedar calling a timeout? So the Reds calling a timeout on what, right here, we're looking at 4th and goal, but in my mind, it should be, 2nd and goal, right?
2nd and goal, yeah. They've ran 1 play since the personal foul face mask. So I have no idea. And then why do you take a time? I guess maybe for the fake field goal, but man, I have no idea. I thought it should have been a first down as well. Maybe they moved it half the distance to the goal, which ended up being on the 2-yard line, but yeah, still 3rd down, so they ran another play, and now we have 4th down, and Desert Hills came out to kick it in.
And I was going to say maybe Desert Hills declined the penalty, figured they could get it in 2 more downs, but they did. You're right, they did walk off that halfway to the goal.
Yeah. So
that and why would you turn down 2 extra?
And what's the point of declining that?
The down marker still says 4th, and now Desert Hills has reconsidered. They come out 4th and goal, not in field goal formation. The offense on the field. White cap official says we don't want this tee out here. He frisbees that to the sideline. Here's the snap. Puilatolo gives to Ford, and he is absolutely stuffed back at the 5. Cedar's defense comes up huge.
Peyton Murray on a beautiful blitz call again from Esplin. This Desert Hills audience is livid. Just pissed that they cannot get in on the goal line. Again, that did happen against Dixie, right? They were shut out against Dixie, but had the ball inside the 10-yard line twice that I know of. So a huge defensive stop there by the Reds. And actually that tackle was for a loss, so it brings it all the way out to the 5-yard line. Or 6-yard line, 7-yard line to start this drive. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. 1st and 10 Reds. Garrett gives to Brinkerhoff up the middle, and he lowers the shoulder and drives forward. Some Thunder Hills or Desert Hills fans say, see, that's what a big guy can do. And he's exactly right. Brinkerhoff with the size just bowls his way for a couple. 3 yards for Seth Brinkerhoff, puts him at 81 yards on 8 carries tonight. Out to the 9. 2nd and 7. 3 receivers right, 1 out left. Reds attacking right to left from our view. Garrett back to throw. Looking, pressure comes, and he's put down in the end zone, or maybe just outside of it. They'll say he's at the 1.
Wow, I have no idea how that was not a safety.
He looked like he was in the end zone.
That looked so clear to me that he was in the end zone. They mark him literally on the half-yard line. So now we have a 3rd and 15 here for the Reds. I have no idea how that was a safety, or how that wasn't a safety, excuse me.
2nd down action is brought to you by Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. We'll hear from them and be right back.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy.
Going back to that, to Desert Hills failing, I think of guys like, so I grew up watching and loving the Lions, the Detroit Lions, and Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a ton of carries in the red zone because he was a smaller guy who would often try to go backwards to make something bigger out of nothing.
Correct.
Right? And so that's what you're seeing these Desert Hills fans frustrated about a very shifty, quick back in Zach Ford, but he was ineffective on those plays at the goal line.
Right. Those type of running backs need space to move. When you're inside the 10-yard line, you have 7 or 8 guys inside the box for the defense, and it's hard for those evasive backs to turn it into positive yardage. You're absolutely correct.
Cedar has to be careful here. A hold in the end zone is a safety. Of course, if Garrett gets tackled in the end zone, it would be a safety. Trips right, 3rd and about 16. Garrett 6 yards deep in his own end zone. Quick slant, left side. Colby White breaks a tackle at the 10 to the 15, makes a move down to the 20 out of bounds, and picks up the 1st down. Colby White after the catch.
Yeah, just a playmaker. Simple as that. They ran a slant route to get him backed up off the end zone. Definitely wasn't expecting that to turn into a 1st down, and Colby White said, I'm going to make 2 people miss, turn it into a 17-yard gain.
Out to the 21-yard line and a 1st down. Brinkerhoff, nothing up the middle, bounces right across the 20, back to the line of scrimmage, and a yard or 2 extra. Not much there.
Yeah, realized that he couldn't quite get the edge with his speed, so he just cuts up field and takes his 3 yards aggressively.
Cedar may need to think about moving a little more quickly on this drive. We're down under 3 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Reds lead 10-7. They've been very methodical and slow moving on their plays. Garrett from the shotgun. Again, Brinkerhoff, nothing up the middle, bounces left, nothing there, wrapped up. He backs his way, pushing to the 25. Gain of about 1.
Thought there may have been a face mask there by, let's see, that was by Cy Nunley, but no flag comes in. Now they did have so they have trips right. Colby White is the lone receiver on the left side, kind of out on an island, maybe looking for the big play. The safety kind of hovering over him, but when they were on the right hash, I thought, man, you could go isolation Colby White and just give him a jump ball and he'll go up and get it.
Desert Hills moving a little, shifting on the defensive line. Garrett takes the snap with 2 minutes to play in the half. Over the middle, looking for Braxton Torres. The throw a bit high, in and out of his fingertips, incomplete.
And Torres' second drop of the night that was in and out of his hands. That one a little bit high, but still hit both of Torres' hands. Could have come down with it.
Cedar, two ways you could look at this. The drive stalled, so their offense didn't quite do what it wanted, but at the same time, they got out of their own, their own goal line area and avoided a safety. So movement from the defensive Cedar had set, and whistles blow it dead.
Man, that's got to be. I don't remember what the play call is, but it's when the defense calls out a play or says hut or hike to get the offensive line to move. One of the defensive linemen for Desert Hills jumped forward like he was gonna rush, and one of the offensive linemen for Cedar moved. It's defensive tampering or something like that. That should be on Desert Hills, but we'll see what the call is.
So the officials confer, they discuss, and call a false start against Cedar. That may give Desert Hills an extra yard or two after this punt. Desert Hills probably wants to put another score on the board and go up at the half. Reds lead 10-7. Hinojosa running to his right and gets the punt away. This will angle toward the sideline, fielded at the 48. Turnbow runs left. No, not Turnbow. That's Austin Turnbow. I was thinking Braxton. He's wrapped up, goes down to 50.
He was not down.
He was spun around, but his knee didn't go down. He popped up and kept running, but the whistles had blown, and there's a flag down as well around the 35 of Cedar.
Yeah, he was absolutely not down. And they had it correct. They didn't blow the whistle for a minute. After he was brought down to the ground, I mean, he was on top of a Cedar Reds defender, but he was still active, and they didn't blow the whistle, so I thought he was going to keep running, and then about a second later, they ended up blowing the whistle. So let's see what the penalty marker is on this play. Minute 43 left in this first half. Cedar with a 10-7 lead over Desert Hills. Desert Hills just got the ball back off of a Cedar Reds punt and looking to turn in another score before half. Officials conferring over the penalty on that punt.
Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug is located near the hospital just off of Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions.
Holy.
Wow.
What call?
So, did you see any indication from the officials what the penalty was?
And I just heard the PA announcer say it's going against Desert Hills.
So Turnbow, his return was stopped, or the whistles blew when he was at Cedar's 47. They've pushed Desert Hills back clear to their own 27-yard line. That's 30 yards. 2 personal foul type penalties.
Yeah, it had to be a spot of the foul type thing, and it was deeper. This ball is snapped, looking to his right, now back to his left, running out to his left. Hit as he tries to throw. Ball is on the ground. No signal yet. Looks like they're going to say incomplete pass. So Fuiletolo, there we go, sorry, haven't said it for a while, was hit as he went to throw the ball. Ball came loose. They call it incomplete pass, so it'll remain 2nd and 10. That was Trayton Payne who finally got in there and was able to land a hit on Fuiletolo, who is usually so good and so evasive and able to extend those plays.
And boy, it was a big hit. Fuiletolo was kind of drifting to his left. Turnbull came in from the right side and leveled him. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you in part by 5 Buck Pizza, now with 2 locations in Cedar City. 5 Buck Pizza offers the 8-inch, the 16-inch sizes, plus the 30-inch Beast, and they have cinnamon bread and chicken wings. 5 Buck Pizza for carry-out and delivery, too. 5 Buck Pizza is located at 1390 South Providence Center and also has now a second location on North Main Street. $5 is happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. So 2nd and 10. Desert Hills, I'm still curious. I'd like to know just what the penalties were.
That was bizarre.
Cedar leads 10-7, a minute 37 left in the first half. Fuilatolo out in the flat right side. Ford in some space and makes one man miss to the 25, out near the 30. Hit out of bounds, closer to about the 27. Gain of 5.
Fuilatolo hit hard as he threw it. That one was by Peyton Murray. But yeah, that is where Ford can be so dangerous, is running those flare screens, running those, the long sweep type actions. It's like what Dixie does with the Anderson twins that they have. They're very effective when they're in space. You have to throw him into space.
Fuilatolo throws left side. Defender fell down. Turnbull the catch. The 35, 40 hit out of bounds, and a late hit flag flies at the 40. That'll give Desert Hills an extra 10 or 15.
Yeah, I already know exactly what Mark Esplin is going to say when he gets into the locker room. Hey, we have stopped them multiple times, and then we have given them multiple first downs on penalties. We're shooting ourselves in the foot right now. We have to be better, more disciplined on the defensive side of the ball as far as penalties goes. That turns into a huge gain for Desert Hills.
So 15 yards from the end of the play. It was a 13-yard pass and catch, and Desert Hills puts themselves at the Cedar 44-yard line. Fuilatolo back to throw, flushed out to his left, rolling, eyes downfield, throws on the sideline, in and out of the hands of Austin Turnbow, the junior.
Yeah, that's just an awkward play. Fuilatolo was almost to the sideline and then threw it hard to Turnbow, and Turnbow was turning around essentially in a back pedal and hit him on the outside shoulder, and he just couldn't bring it in.
So a 2nd down and 10. A minute 13. Desert Hills moving quickly. Takes the snap. Fuilatolo looking over the middle. Nothing there. Pressure comes. He's flushed forward, then out to the left side. He finds some room and steps out after a gain of about 5.
That could have been a block in the back. I'm surprised there actually hasn't been a holding or a block in the back penalty on these plays by Fuilatolo, where he's extending the play in the backfield for so long. It's hard for offensive linemen to know where your quarterback is going and know when you need to release a guy.
4 yards on the scramble by Noah Fuilatolo. 3rd and 6. Reds still leading 10-7. Fuilatolo back, looking caught, and no, Cedar comes away with the football. Is it an interception? The Reds saying it's our football. No official indication from the officials yet, and a Desert Hills player just got smashed on that play. He's slow to get up.
Yeah, that really did look like a scary injury. He came on a slant across the middle, and it wasn't necessarily a huge hit, but as he caught the ball, that was Charlie Cook, who's a big guy, grabbed onto his back and then brought him to the ground. And I didn't see the number, but he landed on his knee, which causes, puts a lot of strain on the femur or on the hip, and obviously on the knee. So it's going to be a right leg injury, I would assume, maybe a left leg injury depending on what knee he came down on. But yeah, he came down hard on either knee, perhaps both knees.
Let's take a quick injury timeout, and we'll be back. 56.6 seconds left in the second quarter on Thunder 91.
Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event.
Like Taven Mortensen, who is banged up on the play. It is his right leg. He's not putting any pressure on it, being helped off the field now. We hope that he's all right. The official ruling on the play is an incomplete pass, so that'll bring up 4th down for the Thunder. 56 seconds left in this first half. Kind of in an awkward field position on Cedar's 40-yard line. Either going to be a short punt or they go for it. And Fuitalolo is coming out onto the field, so it looks like they are going to go for it here on fourth.
Fuitalolo, I've been impressed with his arm strength, his ability to create time with his feet and then continue to keep his eyes downfield. 4th and 6, back to throw. Throws right side and short-armed it, thrown well short of the intended Braxton Turnbow. I was just talking about his good throws, strong arm, then he throws it about 5 yards short.
I think it may have been tipped at the line. I'm not sure, or it either just actually, the way it came out, it looked like he wanted to pump fake and accidentally let go of it. But yeah, thrown well short of his intended receiver. So Cedar takes over 1st and 10 from their own 40 with 52 seconds left. And this is definitely doable to at least get in field goal range for this Cedar offense.
Jaron Garrett last week, 330 passing yards on 15 of 19 this week. So far, just 44 yards here in the first half. He tucks and runs. Right side, he created some room for himself. 50 to the 40 of Desert Hills, splits a couple defenders all the way to the 35.
Going to get all the way into field goal range on one play.
That's one way to move the football.
Nice quarterback draw there for the Reds, and they're going hurry up.
35-yard run for Jaron Garrett. 1st and 10 Cedar at the 35 of Desert Hills. Garrett back to throw. Heaves it deep down the right sideline looking for his man. Picked off at the goal line. Did he catch it in bounds? No! He was out. Braxton Turnbow. Official was right there on top of it. Says out of bounds.
Braxton Turnbow has done a very good job tonight being that free safety. Reading Garrett's eyes, knowing his tendencies. He's done a nice job of slowing down Garrett and keeping him honest as far as throwing over the top goes. Now he has Colby White to the left on an island.
With 3 receivers right side on the short side of the field. White, man-to-man defense. Defender right up in his grill at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. 27.6 seconds left in the half. Garrett looking right, nothing there, steps up, flag flies as he's flushed right and throws, caught at about the 27, short of the first down by a yard or two.
Yeah, that was right around the line of scrimmage. I do believe it may be a holding on the Reds. That's what it is, holding on the offense. So that ball will come all the way back to Desert Hills' 45-yard line. If they were in field goal range, would have been a long field goal. They definitely aren't now. So with 18 seconds left, they have a 2nd and 21 is what it looks like. 2nd and about 20, and they're going to have to figure out something to do here. They'll take a timeout to discuss it further. I think just their second. So they should have one more timeout. If they were to get something going down the field and stayed in bounds, they do have another timeout, I believe.
10-7, Reds lead the second quarter, presented by Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service is available, and you can also stop inside the pharmacy at Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. Our broadcast is also brought to you in part by Brad's Food Hut and Carter Creek To Go, $5 Pizza, and Wendy's.
Yeah, I was after a long game, Cedar at Canyon View, a lot of points scored from the Cedar side. It made for a long game. That first quarter went by so fast because Cedar held the ball for so long, and now this second quarter seems like it's been on for an eternity.
Teams taking their time and trying to maximize seconds here in this final couple minutes. Cedar facing a 2nd and 21 from the 46 of Desert Hills. Garrett back looking to throw. A lot of pressure coming up the middle. He heaves it deep down the right sideline. Defense is there, and Sanchez can't quite make the grab. Good defense contesting and keeping it incomplete by, again, was that Braxton Turnbow?
I believe that was Austin Turnbow, 2 brothers. Austin's got the long sleeves on. I think that was Braxton Torres, who is not moving his right arm. He's keeping it close to his body. Came up injured after that play. So 8 seconds left, 3rd and long here for the Reds.
2 receivers left, 2 right. Desert Hills showing some pressure from the right side. Garrett throws quickly out to the right. Charles Cook makes the catch, or not Charles, but Jack makes the catch. It steps out of bounds about the 42. Short gain, well short of the first down. 2 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, would have been a good play if they were still in field goal range, get their field goal unit out here, but not in field goal range, so maybe they are in field goal range. It looks like they will set up for the field goal attempt. That's going to be a...
Why not?
Probably he's walking behind his own, behind the 50-yard line is where Hinojosa is standing right now. Desert Hills does have players there to return it. If it's short, it is well short.
And it picked up at about the 5. Down the right sideline, Turnbow looking for blocks, gets some to the 40, spun around and brought down near midfield, and that will end half number 1. Would have been a 57, 58-yard field goal, comes up short.
Oh, flags fly as that tackle was made near the Desert Hills sideline. One flag came out. Definitely a little bit of extracurricular there. Looked like Cedar was trying to walk away. Maybe some players were, this is going to be awkward. Looks like they both leave the field in the same area. So Desert Hills will pause and let Cedar go first, and then Desert Hills will come out.
Find out what that flag was here in a moment.
An eventful second quarter, to say the least. A lot of penalties, a lot of big plays. Definitely a fun one. 10-7, Cedar Reds with the 3-point lead on the Desert Hills Thunder. Officials still talking about what the call is going to be. Coaches are waiting to head into the locker room.
So we'll take a quick timeout. We've got the halftime show brought to you by Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. Let's hear, the official unsportsmanlike conduct on the Cedar Reds. And unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh, that's it, just against Cedar. Now Cedar received the opening kick. So I assume they'll enforce this on the second half kickoff. Okay.
You've been keeping those to the penalties, right? I think that's 5 or 6 personal fouls on the Reds, I think.
4 is what I've got. Well, let's see. Because that's the 7th penalty. Personal foul, personal foul, personal foul, and then that personal foul. So 4.
And then there was, that's probably right.
Still,
4 in one quarter is still insane. You just got to, it's just unacceptable.
15 yards will be enforced on the kickoff of the second half. 10-7 Reds lead at the half. And we'll take a break. We'll be back on Thunder 91.
Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City. Five Buck Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. 5 Buck offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. 5 Buck Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. 5 Buck Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. 5 Buck Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City. Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane.
At the half, Cedar leads 10-7. Thunder Hills scored first, led 7-0 on their opening drive that took them just 4 plays. It included 2 long passes from Noah Fuilatolo. One of those went for 38 yards to Austin Turnbow. And then the 30-yard touchdown pass from Fuilatolo to Josh Crandall put Thunder Hills on the board. They led 7-0. Reds answered on their next possession. They drove all the way down to the 17-yard line. The drive stalled, and they kicked a 35-yard field goal. Hernandez Hinojosa. A few possessions later, after punt, the Reds took over from their own 37 and went 5 plays, 63 yards. Seth Brinkerhoff, 25-yard touchdown run, put Cedar on top, and that's where we've remained. That was with 10 minutes, 11 seconds left in the second quarter. The rest of the second quarter took more time off the actual clock than that first 14 minutes, but no scoring that last 10 minutes of the half.
Yeah, that last 10 minutes of the half were just excruciating. Multiple penalties, no offense really could get it going. In my notes here, I really think that Cedar has played the better ball game. I just realized as I was writing down my notes and thinking over the first half, Desert Hills has had absolutely no rhythm on offense. They've had really nothing going for them. Fuilatolo has done, some good things as far as extending the play goes, but that's really all he's been able to do. None of their sets have worked. Really, they haven't moved the ball on the ground at all. Ford is getting literally nothing as soon as he gets the ball. They have to find a rhythm offensively because, big plays aren't going to keep them in it, especially if Cedar comes back and makes it an emphasis to stop giving up those big plays and then also, focuses on eliminating those penalties and staying disciplined. I think that Cedar could be up 2 scores at least in this ball game right now if they're able to eliminate penalties. And I say that with Desert Hills not being able to get in from the 1-yard line, but so they have to figure out something in the red zone, but they also just didn't have a rhythm at all, Desert Hills, in that first half. So as far as offense goes, Desert Hills is going to have to figure out something, going to have to do something different if they want to hang in this ball game. So I think the Cedar's going to come out and hopefully eliminate those penalties, and that was really the only thing slowing them down there.
So Noah Fuilatolo on that first drive, his first 3 pass attempts, 3 for 3, 78 yards and a touchdown. His last 8 attempts completed just 3 for 18 yards. And so the inconsistency that you mentioned, the pressure that Cedar put on him, and then the rushing game has been non-existent really for Desert Hills. I've got the Thunder with 40 rushing yards in the first half, and most of those, a good portion of those came on that double reverse pitch to Braxton Turnbow coming around from the right side. Fuilatolo, 8 carries, 17 yards, and Zach Ford, 9 carries for just 9 yards. On the other side of the football, Cedar, Jaron Garrett, a surprising just 6 of 13 for 49 yards. But he's gotten it done on the ground, 54 rushing yards. And then Seth Brinkerhoff, so far my nod for player of the game, 10 carries, 85 yards. And that's on the offensive side. We should mention what the Cedar's defense did, specifically Peyton Murray, thank you.
Yeah, Cedar's defense has been all over it, and you're absolutely right. I do have to give credit to them. It's obviously been a lot of what they've done that has kept the Desert Hills Thunder from getting into that rhythm that I'm talking about on offense. With different blitz packages, just getting pressure off the line, not even throwing a blitz, and just having Trayton Payne in the backfield disrupting things. They just need to do a better job on offense if they want to stay in this ball game, because like I was saying, I think the Cedar's going to come out and they're going to eliminate the penalties, and it's going to turn into a big win for Cedar. And yeah, And that's the other thing that is a little bit worrisome to me is he has under 50 yards in the air. Jaron Garrett does. You know that he's going to break one eventually, right? You know that it's going to be to Colby White, it's going to be to Braxton Torres, it's going to be to Jack Cook, who had a great game last week against Canyon View. You just know that it's coming eventually. So, and I give credit to them also in here. I said good job on the passing game. Like I said, the Turnbow brothers, I'm assuming they're brothers, I don't know. Braxton and Austin Turnbow have done a great job at the safety position slowing down Jaron Garrett. They've knocked down multiple passes and could have intercepted 2 of them. You remember Braxton Torres actually ended up playing defense on that one in the first quarter. So they've done a great job as far as keeping Jaron Garrett honest, but I just have to think that Garrett is eventually going to get one. You know, he's eventually going to have that long play. So we'll see what Desert Hills can do on defense to keep him honest. But
10-7 at the half. Here on Thunder 91, Cedar leads Desert Hills. We'll take another moment here from a couple more sponsors and have more of your Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug halftime show coming up.
Wendy's in Cedar City and Hurricane is happy to be a part of bringing broadcasts of high school activities for the youth in this area. Wendy's is open for breakfast early in the day and offers its full menu throughout the day and evening. Drive-up and delivery is available, and they have plenty of specials to choose from. Wendy's of Cedar City and Hurricane. $5 Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. $5 offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. $5 Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. $5 Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event. Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City.
At Desert Hills in St. George, Ryan Steinekert here with Parker Haney. The Cedar Reds on top 10-7 on senior night for the Thunder. And boy, these teams, you talk about Region 9 standings, and Cedar at 2-2, Desert Hills at 1-3. A win could mean the difference between possibly a 3rd place or dropping as far as 5th or 6th in the region. And some other tight games in region play going on currently as well. Did you catch those scores, Parker?
I'm going to try. I am thinking about them. I'm going to try and reiterate to them. So Crimson Cliffs was up on Dixie 15-11, I think. So that one is definitely something to note. Dixie, a solid team, definitely up there in the standings, and Crimson Cliffs hasn't won a lot of games. And then Snow Canyon at Pineview, the battle of the undefeateds. They are tied at 28 apiece at the half. And then Canyon View at Hurricane, I think was 21-20.
21-20, I thought he said tied at the half as well.
Yeah, 21-20. I don't know which team was winning, but 21-20 for that game. So a bunch of close games. We have a 10-7 ball game here with the Reds leading, but very, very fun weekend for Region 9. I I just love it. I haven't mentioned that this broadcast, I graduated from Cedar High in 2017. In case you couldn't tell, a little bit biased. But I just love Region 9, man. It's always fun. You play the game, and then you immediately ask your coach, hey, what else happened in the region, because you really just never know. Like we're seeing right now, Dixie down 4 to Crimson Cliffs. So it's always fun playing in Region 9. Always a good time.
Just some quick stats, unofficial stats from here tonight at Desert Hills is Hernandez Hinojosa is working on the field goal kicking, and he just...
I love that they kicked that. I love that they just tried to kick a 55-yarder to end the half.
So I had Cedar with 139 rushing yards, 49 passing yards, and 188 total yards in that first half against Seth Brinkerhoff. 10 carries, 85 yards, including runs of 26 and the 25-yard touchdown during those first 2 quarters. Desert Hills, again, unofficial stats, 93 passing yards, 40 rushing yards, a total of 133 yards of offense. And Desert Hills struck on that first drive. They got a couple big plays, no big plays after that, and went scoreless. They got down inside the 1, and the Cedar defense came up big. Got to think that Desert Hills coach Mark Murdoch is telling his team, hey guys, we got to be more consistent and keep those drives sustained and then punch it in.
Yeah, I love the comment you made about Barry Sanders. When you're down on the 1-yard line, I mean, anytime you're in the red zone, you need to score the ball. But if you're inside the 5, heck, they got the ball on the half-yard line. You have to score that ball. And Zach Ford, as good of a running back as he is and as he's been throughout the season, he's not a power back. When you're in that situation, the defense literally can only go back to the back of the end zone. So everybody is at least 11 yards away, right? So, obviously they're closer. The linebackers are standing on the goal line right next to the linemen. So when you're in that situation, you need a power back that is just going to put his head down and run through, much like Noah Fueletolo is a power back, and he had a few attempts down there on the goal line as well, and came up short. And I think it was just good play calling by Cedar's defense. But you just have to score from the 1-yard line. And I was kind of laughing at this Desert Hills fan section, getting all bent and pissed, but I'm with them. When you're on the 1-yard line, give the ball to your biggest running back and let him lower his head and get into the end zone.
10-7 Cedar at the half. Our halftime sponsor is Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescription, and they are happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service is available, or you can stop inside the pharmacy. Hermes Drive-In is also happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They're just north of the City Park on Main Street. Burgers, shakes, fries, soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. 294 North Main Street in Cedar. That's Hermes Drive-In.
So a fun first half here in sunny St. George. Luckily, like you said, did cool down right about at kickoff. This would have been an unfortunate game to call earlier in the year, but a little bit cooler tonight. Even
a little earlier in the day. I think kickoff with the sun on our backs was 93 degrees, but as soon as the sun went down, boy, it's been perfect. Yeah, feels great. Comfortable. Beautiful night for some football. And again, we have to remember right before the half, there was that personal foul on the Reds, which we, again, are assuming they will enforce on the kickoff. Officials talking at midfield right now as we go under a minute until this second half gets underway. 10-7, gonna be a fun one. Should come down to the wire between these two teams. Now Hernandez, Hinojosa has a pretty strong boot. If Cedar, so that penalty, a 15-yarder, would put him kicking from, I think, red zone 25. So Desert Hills has the prospect, especially with the danger of Braxton Turnbow and I think Austin Turnbow returning kicks, They might have some good field position to start this second half. And indeed, Cedar lined up to kick off from their own 25-yard line. Again, our halftime has been presented by Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug. We've got the $5 Pizza third quarter coming up. We're on Thunder 91. You can listen live, KSUU 99.1 FM. We also have a kind of a low-budget, simple video stream running at suunews.net. You can find the link there to watch the broadcast live tonight from Desert Hills. You know any good bands, Parker? We're doing a Battle of the Bands later this month.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. When is that, actually?
October 27th, part of SUU's Scream Week. It's a Tuesday night. Cedar set to kick off from their own 25. Hernandez Hinojosa low line drive, boots it deep, fielded by Turnbow about the 20 to the 30, straight up the middle, 40, big hole, 45 to the 50. The Reds finally wrap him up, and he uses his momentum to go down in Cedar territory, the 48.
So a little bit unfortunate. Hinojosa tried to get the most out of that ball and took the air off of it. So it was a low kick, and Turnbull able to turn that one into a nice return, and they'll have field position inside Cedar's territory.
Turnbow dangerous. I've got him with 2 returns for 77 yards, including that one. Third quarter just underway. Desert Hills starting from the Cedar 48. Give to Ford, left side. Nothing doing, but he makes a couple guys miss, picks up a yard or 2, and gains a couple. Well, I thought he was going to lose 2 or 3.
Yep, I'm with you. There were 2 defenders who absolutely closed the outside edge, and he said, all right, I'll just take this little hole you gave me and turn it into a positive yardage.
To the Cedar 46. I've got Ford with 10 carries, 11 yards in the ball game. Huilatolo, quick throw out to the right side. Josh Crandall the catch to the 40, down the Cedar sideline, 35, hit hard and knocked out of bounds just short of the 30. Big gain and a first down.
That was a very blatant block in the back there. Trayton Payne took off to get to the outside, and the right tackle for Desert Hills just shoved him in the back onto the ground. I am confused at why that wasn't called right in front of the side judge. Sort of an injured player who will now come off the field for the Reds. Wasn't necessarily injured, just kind of took a knee. Maybe he's cramping or something. That was Brock DeMille, who just went off the field for the Reds.
Desert Hills 1st and 10 at the Cedar 31. Huilatolo with a tight formation, 2 receivers left, 2 right. Ford handoff, and he's got nothing. Stuffed and driven to the turf in the backfield. Peyton Murray.
And Peyton Murray has made strides as a defensive player. I watched a lot of their games last year, and he was okay, involved on a lot of plays, but he is literally in every play. He has been a huge disruptive force here for the Cedar Reds defense.
A loss of 2. Huilatolo looks left, throws right, incomplete on a quick slant. Turnbow couldn't make the catch.
He dove for it, and Charlie Cook was there when the ball got there and gave him a little bit of a hit, so he'll come off for a play.
3rd down and 12 at the 33 of Cedar. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Huilatolo, pressure comes, throws left, diving back and unable to make the catch. Incomplete. Is that Turnbow out there? No.
I think that was Austin Turnbow.
Oh, Austin Turnbow, yeah.
Was on the outside. Yeah, Huilatolo took a huge shot right as he got rid of that ball. Again, in the awkward position where it's either going to be a short punt or they go for it on 4th down, and Huilatolo will stay out there and attempt this 4th and long.
12 yards to go. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Ball near the middle of the field. Cedar showing pressure. Backs off, shows it again. Huilatolo looks to the sideline. Still hasn't taken the snap. Cedar showing pressure again, and they bring it. Quick throw out to the right side. Caught, but not much room. Great open field tackle at the 30. Well short of the first down.
A beautiful tackle there by Charlie Cook. They've called his name quite often tonight on the defensive side of the ball. If he doesn't make that tackle, that really is a bargain for first down yardage. But Charlie Cook able to keep him in front of him and bring him to the turf.
A 3-yard gain. The receiver was Lincoln Holmes. And Cedar takes over on the turnover on downs from their own 30. Third quarter, 10:35 remaining. Cedar leads 10-7. Brinkerhoff up the middle, bounces out right side. First down, dragging the tacklers further across the 40. He'll pick up the first down and a little more. Whistles finally blow it dead.
They were in a twins formation, right? Or was it trips left? I think they were in a twins. It's such a weird play to me. It's just a simple zone left and zone right. I think they did stretch it, so I think it's a stretch zone. So it's going, it's just a normal zone, but it feels so weird because Brinkerhoff keeps bouncing it to the outside, and there's no outside linebackers there for Desert Hills.
So trips right, one receiver left, and in motion, and Garrett keeps it himself. Not much room, but he dives forward to the 45. Gain of 2 or 3.
I think that was Trayton Payne who came in motion. Payne usually plays tight end. It looks like he's playing a slot that time. Yeah, that's because Torres on the field. He had a hurt
right shoulder or arm or something.
Yeah.
You can
Before
see
the half.
Torres over there on the sideline, helmet off. Right next to the original line of scrimmage marker. Garrett fakes the handoff, throws over the middle for Payne, tipped, and somehow Payne came up with it, still bobbling it, and the official says, no, incomplete, I believe. Boy, that was almost caught, then almost picked off. Then
I didn't know where the ball was.
Incomplete.
Man, that's such a scary route, but it was easily my favorite route. Trayton Payne with his hand in the turf. Just going to run a seam route right over the backers, right in front of the safety, and you just know you're going to get smacked as soon as you catch the ball. But I love it. I love that route. Unable to come up with it on that one, so it brings up about a 3rd and 7 here for the Reds.
Cedar at its own 45-yard line. Garrett with 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight end on the right side. Pressure coming, throws over the middle, and he's got his man, Colby White, diving back to make the catch at the Desert Hills 45.
Yeah, Garrett with the guys in his face kind of gave a little jump toss to Colby White across the middle, and White hits the deck and comes up with the first down.
Colby White's 3rd reception for 36 yards. Last week against Canyon View, 7 catches, 154 with a touchdown. And he was dwarfed by Jack Cook's number, 6 catches, 144 with 3 touchdowns. First down, Reds. Desert Hills some movement on the defensive line. Give to Brinkerhoff. Not much room this time. Dives ahead for 1 or 2. Jaron Garrett came in completing almost 65% of his passes. Tonight, 7 of 15. That's under 50% for 60 yards. This Desert Hills defense, I think the speed in the secondary is keeping guys covered, and Garrett's having a hard time finding open receivers.
Yeah, I mean, if we saw the Canyon View Cedar game, if you got that film, what would you say to your DBs? Hey, you're going to be in for a long night, so let's tighten up and let's get after it.
2nd down and 9 after Brinkerhoff picks up 1. Cook in motion. Garrett spinning, pressure comes, and he has nowhere to go. Brought down back in his own territory. Loss of 6. It was a design play, misdirection, and he spun around. By the time he got turned back to face the line of scrimmage, he had 3 Thunder in his face.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a bootleg right where he boots and rolls out to his right. Jet waggle is what we called it, but yeah, like you said, they blitzed off the left side, and as soon as he turned around to roll out, he had defenders in his face.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's only 3rd down. Brings up a long 3rd down, though, after you said, yeah, that big loss.
3rd and 16 after that loss of 7. 2 receivers right with a tight end on the left side and a receiver wide left. Garrett, quarterback keeper all the way. Some room to run. He follows a block, dives inside the 40. He'll be just a couple yards short of the first down, about the 43, 44. Make it 4th and 4.
Yeah, so now Cedar's in that awkward territory where Connors have to go for it on 4th down. Garrett almost tried to hurdle on that play and got, I think somebody put a helmet right on his knee and he's hobbling a little bit. He will stay on the field as the play comes in. I think that's Casey Crandall.
Yeah, Casey Crandall, the backup quarterback, brings the play in.
Came in putting on his glove, so he has 2 on both of his hands. Not that that's important, but in case they're going for a double pass or something tricky here.
Crandall, a receiver wide on the right side. Cedar better hurry. 5-4, 3 on the play clock, 2. And I think the Reds just decided to take a timeout.
Yeah, Bennett upset with Crandall because they were in the huddle for so long after Crandall came in to give him the play call. So I think that Bennett was thinking that Crandall maybe messed up the play call when he got in there, or something happened, a little bit of a miscommunication. So Cedar has to burn an early timeout here in the 3rd quarter. Only have 2 left now. Definitely something to note when this comes into the late game.
Reds lead 10-7, 6:14 left in the 3rd on Thunder 91.
5 Buck Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. 5 Buck offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. 5 Buck Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. 5 Buck Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. 5 Buck Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools.
Cedar comes out, 4th and 4 at the Thunder Hills 44. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Garrett in the shotgun. Cook in motion left to right. Desert Hills looked like they were in the neutral zone. That's straight here in front of us. And then some movement, a couple of flags fly. I'm looking straight down that line, and at least 2 Thunder's helmets were in the neutral zone, like right over the football.
Yeah, if Cedar would have snapped that ball, that would have been a neutral zone infraction. But instead brings up a 4th and 9, and Cedar will come out to punt this ball away. Desert Hills had 8 defenders on the line of scrimmage, just barely on that 4th down.
So instead of a 4th and 4, it's now a 4th and 9 after the 5-yard false start penalty against Cedar, and they'll bring Hinojosa out to punt it away. Turnbow, that's Austin Turnbow, back about the 10, set to receive this punt, and a flag flies, whistles blow the play dead as the snap is delivered. And Cedar, boy, they're kicking themselves in the foot with penalty. That's the 9th penalty of the game for 82 yards.
Cannot get out of their own way as far as penalties go. Not that it's going to make a huge difference. I think that he'll still kick this ball deep, but it's another 10 yards that you're giving Desert Hills.
3rd quarter, 6:14 left in this period. Brought to you by 5 Buck Pizza. Hernandez Hinojosa at his own 38. Good snap and boots this one high and deep. It'll bounce a time or two before and take a Desert Hills bounce. Cedar jumps on it at the 24.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That ball bounced on about the 12-yard line and went straight backwards. So could have been a good punt, pinned him inside the 10, but got an unfortunate bounce, or I guess a Desert Hills bounce, not an unfortunate bounce. Got a Desert Hills bounce, and now Desert Hills will have the ball on their own 24-yard line.
Noah Fuilatolo, the sophomore quarterback, again completed his first 2 passes for 68 yards and a touchdown. Since then, just 6 of 13 for about 33 yards. Desert Hills 1st and 10. Play action, throw over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Looking for Braxton Turnbow.
Braxton Turnbow wanted nothing to do with that ball. He was the one who got hit last series by Charlie Cook, and Turnbow didn't even put his hands out to catch that one. He said, I'm not getting hit on another one of your high passes.
3 receivers bunched left. Fuilatolo hands off to Ford. No, kept it himself and dives into the line. Cedar Reds all over him. A gain of half a yard maybe.
Yeah, I think that's just a young sophomore quarterback. They went zone read. They were reading Sly Dotson, who's this close defensive end, and he stayed home and said, "Come to me." So that's a give 10 times out of 10, and Fuilatolo decided to keep it. And
3rd and 9, deep over the middle, tipped and picked off. Colby White has it for Cedar and is brought down immediately about the 44 of Desert Hills.
That was Josh Crandall, who put his hands up into the air, tipped off of his hands, and Colby White, playing the safety position, comes down with it. So Cedar gets the ball about where they punted from.
That's right. In fact, before the penalties on that punt, they were at the 44-yard line, which is where they start this drive. At the Desert Hills 44. 3rd quarter, 5:25 to play.
All of Fuilatolo's passes are just a little bit high. Every time, it's just got a little too much air on it. Well, I don't even want to say air. They're just a little bit too high for all of his receivers, and they're having to stretch their hands out. He's got to keep it lower, and wow, Cedar takes another timeout.
Is that their second?
That's their second timeout.
Of the half. Oh, especially in a close game like this.
And Bennett is furious. I could hear Bennett yelling from here. Bennett very upset with his offense. We noticed that in the first half, right? The play calls were coming in a little slow, and they were snapping it within the count, and now they're just not even getting the play calls out there. They were still in the huddle when that timeout was called.
Josh Bennett, the offensive coordinator for Cedar and the head coach, graduate of Millard High School and Southern Utah University in his 6th season at the head of Cedar Reds, and they come in at 4-3 tonight. He brought 10 starters back from last year's team that finished 5th in Region 9, and they had high expectations offensively. We've seen like the 67 points last week against Canyon View, but then other games just 19 in the loss to Dixie. So some inconsistency. 10 so far tonight. Reds lead by 3 in the 3rd quarter. Garrett will go back to the 2-back set. Snap, and Garrett fakes the handoff, then pitches to Brinkerhoff right side. Waits for blocks to develop, pushes into the line and gets to the 40, drives in, maybe got the 39, a gain of 4.
Yeah, I like that play design there for the Reds. Just the speed option, fake the zone, going left. They went to their 2-back set, fake the zone, going left, and then you have the speed option with Garrett and Brinkerhoff, your 2 leading rushers.
That puts Brinkerhoff over the 100-yard mark tonight. 13 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown. White in the backfield to give to Brinkerhoff right up the middle. Quick dive and a gain of 3 to the 42, maybe just 2 yards.
Back-to-back plays in the 2-back set for Cedar. Looks like they're going to stay in it as Brian White stays on the field. He's the other back alongside Brinkerhoff and Garrett in the backfield.
This formation was pretty effective for 2 quarters of football at Dixie a couple weeks ago, then really had no success with it in the second half. Of course, they had success with about everything they did last week against Canyon View. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Cook in motion. Garrett fakes the handoff there, dives into the line. He'll be stopped just short of the first down, about a yard short at the 35.
We got the exact same situation that they were looking at before. They'll come up for a short 4th down, and we'll see if they can not get a false start penalty.
That's one key. It's 4th and a long yard. The football just outside the 35, and they need exactly the 34. So it's really a yard and a half to the first down marker. Cedar leads 10-7, 3.5 minutes left in the 3rd. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right, 2 in the backfield on either hip of Jaron Garrett. Pressure coming from Desert Hills. Snap, quick throw, Charlie Cook catch, got the first down and more, and dives inside the 30. I said Charlie, that's Jack Cook. My apologies. First down and more.
Gutsy play call by the Reds there. I absolutely love it. everybody's expecting you to give the ball to Brinkerhoff. I almost said it. I said, watch for the zone read to Brinkerhoff. No, we're going to fake the zone read. We're going to sling it out to Jack Cook. We trust him. He's a playmaker. He'll do the rest. Gets the first down and more.
Cook 3 touchdowns last week against Canyon View. 3 receptions for 24 yards tonight. 2 receivers right. Garrett pitches right side. Brinkerhoff, some room, and he drags a tackler forward, plus a penalty. Well, it looks like a face mask will give him some extra yards after the run.
That looked like a face mask. Anytime you see 2 flags come in that quickly, it's going to be something that both officials can see, which is typically going to be a face mask or a hold or something like that.
Brinkerhoff got down to the 22-yard line. That was about a 5-yard gain. 2:50 left in the third quarter, and it is a personal foul against Desert Hills. Both teams head for the, like a water timeout?
I'm not sure.
The Thunder had only committed 3 penalties up to this point in the game.
They just called a Desert Hills timeout is what it was.
Okay. So down to the 11-yard line. That's a 11-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal from the 22.
Is a personal foul half the distance when you're inside the 20?
I think it's so it depends on the penalty. If it's a 15-yard penalty and you're inside the 30, then it would be half the distance. If it's a 5-yard penalty but you're at the 12, you'd still go the 5 yards.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So this one, Brinkerhoff's run was for 5 yards, and then tack on the half the distance takes him down to the 11-yard line. Cedar can get a first down at the 2 or at the 1. 1st and 10 Reds, looking to put on a little bit of insurance points. They're up by a field goal, 10-7, late in the third quarter. Jack Cook in motion. Garrett throws, looking for Kobe White, and he can't quite hang on, but a flag flies at the 1. Contact came in, and the official deems it was early.
Yeah, that one's tough. It's Hendrick Lusk who was in coverage. Man, that one was close. That's a pretty bang-bang play. It's on a slant route towards the goal line. As a defender, you kind of just got to get in there and make any play you can. I thought he got there at the same time as the ball, but the official had a better view than I did, and Cedar will move again half the distance to the goal.
Now, one interesting note, in high school, pass interference is not an automatic first down. I guess it doesn't matter here because they replay the down, so it's still 1st and 5 now after that half the distance to the goal. 2 in the backfield next to Garrett. In motion, and the give, Brian White. He tries to bounce it outside, and he finds a little bit of room, gets going north and south, and gets inside the 5-yard line.
That is exactly the big back that we've been talking about that Desert Hills lacks. Brian White and Seth Brinkerhoff are both big boys. Brian White is even bigger than Brinkerhoff is, and when he gets going north and south, even if you hit him, he's gonna fall at least 2 yards. You know what I mean? So you gotta hit him early because he's gonna fall 2 yards.
He is a big kid. I'd like to see height and weight on the roster. We don't have it, though. 1 receiver left, 2 wide right. Give to White up the middle, and he runs over a Thunder into the end zone. Touchdown, Reds.
Yep. Desert Hills was in that same position early in the first half and came out without a score, and Cedar does so easily. Brian White with the touchdown makes it 16-7. $1:59 left here in this third quarter.
7 plays, 44 yards. Cedar has a chance to make it a 2-score. Well, it's a 2-score game, 16-7. And they'll attempt the extra point here. Would make it a 10-point ball game. Offsides against Desert Hills. Yard-and-a-half penalty.
Hey, you never know. Now with Hinojosa's leg, he's been getting a hold of these. We watched him warming up pregame and a little bit before that half, and he's hitting them from 45, 40 yards.
Longest sustained drive of the evening for either team. 3 minutes, 26 seconds. Hinojosa kicks this one high to get it over. A lot of pressure coming in from Desert Hills and kicks it through. Cedar leads 17-7.
Yep, very efficient and sustained drive there for Cedar. Came off of the Colby White interception, so not necessarily a long drive as far as yardage goes, but I mean going 50 yards in 3 minutes, like you said, is big time. And they did a nice job there, and it was kind of like I was saying at the half, not to say that I was right, but if Desert Hills didn't figure something out, Cedar was eventually going to eliminate those penalties and sustain a drive, and they did so just barely, and now they have a 17-7 lead. With 2 minutes left here in the third quarter over Desert Hills. Cedar set to kick off. Like you have been saying, Turnbow is definitely explosive down there, and Hinojosa makes sure to kick it away from him.
And kicks it very high. Field it at the 16. Looking for room to run across the 25 to about the 28. Jacob Wilkins with a short return. So Desert Hills will start from its own 28-yard line. We'll give it Wilkins 12 yards on the return unofficially.
This is a little bit interesting. Braxton Torres is out on defense playing corner. So maybe he is healthy, and Bennett just didn't love what he was producing offensively. Both
could be.
Teams called to their sidelines, and the Desert Hills coach out there talking to the officials.
And we saw when Cedar played at Snow Canyon. Of course, it was a lot hotter 3-4 weeks ago, and they took a couple timeouts for teams to hydrate. Maybe that's...
I think this may be a mask thing.
We saw that last week.
Yep.
In the game against Cedar and Canyon View. They came out, they announced to the crowd the game has been delayed by the game administrators, because not enough folks are wearing their masks, and we'll play again. We'll resume the game once the masks are on. Our third quarter is brought to you by $5 Pizza. They have 2 locations now in Cedar City, 1390 South Providence Center, and now on North Main Street as well. $5 Pizza has, of course, the big 30-inch beast, the 8-inch, the 16-inch, the personal pizzas, and more. And they're happy to support athletics and other activities of high schools, of our local high schools.
Both teams huddled around their coaches currently. Maybe it's a team thing. Maybe they want the players to wear their masks. I have no idea what's going on here. Never seen anything like this.
Minute 54 left in the third quarter, and it's almost as if the quarter ended. It may be some kind of a sportsmanship thing. Maybe the officials were starting to hear something, some chatter.
I was thinking that as well. Officials trying to get the game under control, saying, hey, tell your guys we're not going to tolerate it anymore. Any more personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct, we're just going to start kicking players out. So, I don't know. We'll let you guys know if we see anything further. I would have to assume that's what it was. Coaches, go talk to your players, say, hey, keep it chill, keep it relaxed, trying to have some fun. Let's all have good sportsmanship here, and now we're going to resume play. $1:54 left in this third quarter.
Puilatolo just 2 of 6 in this second half, including an interception. Trips to the right side, and the give to Ford up the middle. Initially looked like there would be a hole, but not much there. He dives to the 30 for a short gain.
I guarantee you that's what it was, as 2 Cedar defenders just picked up Ford off of the turf, helped him up, and slapped him on the butt. So I guarantee it was about sportsmanship. That is funny.
Trips to the right. Puilatolo, quick throw out to Turnbow. He follows his blockers, picks up a few. 35, still on his feet. He's hit hard, sandwiched down right near the first down marker at the 37.
There's a penalty marker down on that close sideline. Can't see it. Maybe a late hit again, like waiting on the call here.
A face mask.
I didn't see that. That tackle happened right on this near sideline, right in front of where we're sitting, and I did not see a face mask of any sort, but nonetheless, a solid play there for Desert Hills, maybe getting into a little bit of a rhythm here, a little bit of a groove.
It was an 8-yard pass and catch to Braxton Turnbow. Plus the 5-yard, it was an inadvertent face mask. Fuilatolo going deep down the right side. Josh Crandall's open, and it's caught by Crandall at the 16. What a grab with Torres right in his grill.
Great snag by Josh Crandall. I just genuinely feel bad for Braxton Torres. He was in perfect position. Just feels like anywhere he goes, kind of a negative energy follows him, but great snag by Josh Crandall.
41 yards on the catch. Give to Ford and nothing in the backfield. Who's that man for Cedar?
Peyton Murray once again in the backfield being disrupted. He is having a great game.
Fuilatolo with 160 passing yards on 10 of 19. 2 receivers left and 2 on the right side, short side of the field. Man in motion, looking like a pistol formation. Fuilatolo back, throws to his left. Defender got tripped up and somehow still trips up the the receiver.
Colby White tripped on the other receiver, but still able to get out to his man and come up with the tackle from the ground. Nice play there by Colby White.
Lincoln Holmes on the reception.
That'll do it for the third quarter. So we head to the fourth quarter, 17-7. Cedar Reds up by 10 on the Desert Hills Thunder.
Five Buck Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. 5 Buck offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. 5 Buck Pizza for carry-out and delivery too. 5 Buck Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. 5 Buck Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Ogden's Flooring and Design welcomes you to their showroom floor at 2232 North Main Street in Cedar City. Celeste Johnson and the staff can answer any questions about your flooring projects. 867-1777. That's 867-1777. Ogden's is happy to present this athletic event.
Lots of football left to be played tonight. It's 12 minutes, a fourth quarter left to go. Cedar leads by a score of 17-7. Here on Thunder 91, but Desert Hills knocking on the door at the Cedar 16-yard line. Fuilatolo throws left. He's got Turnbow. Catch made. Flag flies. Down about the 12.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the one in the defensive backfield was, but the one right where the quarterback was going to be a late hit on Trayton Payne. He just came in late and hit Fuilatolo after he had delivered the ball. So maybe they'll offset or they'll both be against Cedar. We'll see.
Personal foul, roughing the passer against Cedar. An illegal man downfield against Desert Hills. Penalties offset. Third down. That's like a...
Penalties don't quite add up there, but they will offset.
I punch you in the face, you slap me on the shoulder. Offsetting offenses. 3rd down and 7. Desert Hills. Trips right, 1 receiver left. That's Austin Turnbow. Pistol formation. Fuilatolo looking left. Throws left side. Back of the end zone. Touchdown. Caught. Austin Turnbow got past beyond his defender, and Fuilatolo delivered a perfect toss.
Yeah, that was Connor Hardman, sophomore defensive back. I really don't know what. It looked like he was in great position until Fuilatolo threw the ball, and then Hardman just stopped backpedaling, and the ball sailed over his head. A great throw by Fuilatolo, and then a nice catch there by Austin Turnbow for the touchdown.
So Desert Hills puts together the drive it needed, and Makes it a field goal game if the extra point is good, and it is.
Yeah, that's like you said, the one that they needed. They finally were able to sustain a drive, get into a rhythm. Fui Latolo looked a lot more comfortable. His line gave him a lot of time, and turns into 7 points for this Desert Hills Thunder.
17-14, Cedar leads. That drive, just 5 plays to go 72 yards. Minute 59, and let's go 2 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock. When Desert Hills has scored, it's been quick.
Yeah.
Their first scoring drive, 4 plays, 75 yards. That drive, 5 plays, 72 yards.
Yeah, it's kind of about the big play. They didn't necessarily have a huge play on that one. I think it was just compounded by penalties on Cedar's side is what turned it into big plays. But you're right, they definitely move in chunks. There's really no, we're going to get the third down and, third and short or anything like that. They kind of, their offense moves in chunks.
With the kick, Hunter Bentley goes deep, 3-4 yards into the end zone, touchback, and Cedar will start from its own 20.
Both teams scored on their last possession, correct?
Correct.
We'll see which team can keep it going here. Aaron Garrett will step back onto the field, try and lead his offense. I think, I unfortunately know Coach Bennett, and I think that he may try and play to burn up time here. But I think as a team with just a 3-point lead, I think you just got to continue calling the same plays and moving the same. I think you got to play to score another touchdown here.
2-back set. Garrett hands to Brinkerhoff. Not much room. Gets to the line of scrimmage and maybe one more. A 1-yard gain. Brinkerhoff 16 carries, 112 yards. I'm an Oregon Ducks fan, and a couple times last year they had leads, got conservative, and ended up giving up the lead. Had to fight from behind. And interesting, talk about guys like Penny Sewell who played here at Desert Hills, and what you just said with, well, you got to stay aggressive and not play to lose, but play to, just keep your game plan, keep moving the football. 2 different types of strategies could be employed here. Cedar's going to have to use its final timeout.
Seriously, I cannot. Get up to the line.
They've done a lot of no huddle this season, and the huddle has been a bit of an issue. 5 seconds left in the play clock as Cook goes in motion and Cedar gets the play off. Garrett back to throw, flushed right, has to just tuck and take the loss. 3-4 Desert Hills Thunder in the backfield.
And I'm a little bit lost on that play. They blitzed that cornerback on the same side that Garrett rolled out to, and I guess he didn't see anybody open. I unfortunately didn't have my eyes downfield, but didn't like what he saw and tucked it a little bit early, I thought. But
boy, the momentum all with Desert Hills at the moment here. 10:28 left, 4th quarter. Cedar facing a 3rd and 16 from its own 14-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Garrett back to throw. Goes over the middle. Cook makes the catch and is leveled. Holds on, but short of the first down at the 26.
Yeah, that was Austin Turnbow with a big hit on Jack Cook, and he's got a stinger in his right shoulder. I know that feeling.
That's a 14-yard gain, but not quite enough. 4th and 2.
Turnbow now lays down after his coach told him to just go down. We can get another timeout here. Turnbow, I think, just had a stinger in his shoulder. Hopefully not anything serious.
That was a collision between Jack Cook and Austin Turnbow. Was it Austin or Braxton?
It was Austin Turnbow. It's funny because the time that I'm thinking of that it happened to me was actually against Desert Hills. I was playing a free safety in that same, no, I guess not that one was a deep slant, but their big tight end ran a seam route, and he went up to catch it, and right as he went up to catch it, I put my shoulder right into his ribs, and I hit him hard, but I ended up walking away hurt because I got a stinger in my shoulder. I said, that was a sweet hit, but I'm a little banged up now. Nobody wins in a headbutt like they always say, huh?
That's right. And then Turnbow, I think you're right on. He took a moment, recovered, stands up, walks off on his own, kind of shaking that right arm out a bit. But Cedar, a big play on third down, but not quite big enough. They come up 2 yards short, 4th and 2. And now you got to worry about punting it to Braxton Turnbow, who's a dangerous return man. See if Cedar employs any kind of strategy.
The same thing.
Flag flies, false
Desert
start.
Hills jumps forward like they're gonna blitz, and then Cedar jumps. I just don't. I don't know. I don't love that play calling.
92 yards in penalties for the Reds tonight. Hernandez Hinojosa at his own 10, runs to his right, buys some time, and then boots it high on the sideline, out of bounds. Boy, this went out in Cedar territory. We'll see just where they spot this thing, but Desert Hills should have good field position. Oof. That's one of the dangers of the rugby-style punt. Hinojosa rolling to his right, boots it with momentum to his right, and that's going to naturally carry the ball to the right and out of bounds. Desert Hills at the Cedar 43-yard line.
How's the time? See what you're made of. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Still a lot of time to play, but Cedar needs a stop here as all of the momentum is in favor of Cedar.
Puilatolo pressured, flag flies. He escapes to his right, throws, and it's caught for 6 yards, but
we got a holding. That one should be coming back.
And that was a few yards deep in the backfield, so this will be a costly penalty against Desert Hills.
Trayton Payne, who was there to make the sack, and then like I was saying, when Puilatolo extends the play like that, it's hard as an offensive lineman to know where your quarterback is running and to know when you got to let go of your man. And it cost him on that one.
So from the Cedar 43 all the way to the Desert Hills 44, that's a 13-yard hold penalty because it took place 3 yards deep in the backfield. 55 yards in penalties against Desert Hills. Quick throw out to Josh Crandall, right side, makes the catch, tripped up at the 50, and he dives forward for a few more to the 46 of Cedar.
Nice tackle there again by Charlie Cook. He's been great in the open field, bringing down these fast and agile Desert Hills receivers.
103 receiving yards for Josh Crandall with that catch of 10 yards. Second down, 13. Puilatolo looking to throw out into the flat. Turnbow makes the catch, eludes one tackler, but then he can't elude 2-3 more gang tackling Cedar Reds.
That was Charlie Cook. As I just said, he did miss him the first time, but hopped up quickly, and Cedar was gang tackling, and they brought him down. Now there's a 3rd and 10. The Desert Hills gets back to the original line of scrimmage after that holding penalty, and it's 3rd down.
Puilatolo in the shotgun, trips right, looking left all the way. Austin Turnbow gets away with a push-off, makes the catch at the 30. Ball pops loose, and Cedar's on it at the 33. Turnbow trying to make something more out of it, and turned it over.
That is what I like to call instant karma. He ran a nice, solid route, broke down, chopped his feet, and then right when he broke out of his route, extended his arm, pushed off the cornerback, and caught the pass. And then, like you said, tried to extend the play, get a little bit more, and fumbled the ball. Cedar ball coming the other way.
So a 10-yard reception, not necessarily negated, but just turned over. Austin Turnbow caught that first pass from Noah Puilatolo. That was just his second reception of the game, and coughs it up. So Cedar takes over with a narrow 17-14 lead. 7:53 left to play in this fourth quarter.
That is the second time that I've seen a Desert Hills player have to come off the field to fix a part of their equipment. This time it was their cornerback who had to come off of the other side to tuck in his jersey better.
Cedar with the two-back set, two receivers right. Garrett takes the snap, looking for the option. Nothing going on the outside. Tucks and dives into the line. Gains one, maybe two. the running game. Just as we've seen Garrett just run wild against some other teams, but tonight that puts him at 14 carries for 55 yards. By my stats, that's unofficial.
Right, and I actually think a big part of that is he's taken a few more sacks. I think he's lost probably close to 20 yards in different sacks because he has had a few decent QB draws where he's turned it into nice yards, but he's been taking more sacks than I feel like he normally does, and that's just good pressure by this Desert Hills defense.
You're right about that. 5 sacks on the night for the Thunder. Cook in motion. Handoff. Nope. Garrett keeps it himself and finds a little room right up the middle across the 35 to about the 38-yard line.
That's just, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like these play calls are a little bit conservative,
yeah.
a little bit, you know, I don't want to risk it. You just got blessed with a turnover on a drive that Desert Hills looked like they were going to sustain, and you got to do something with it.
3rd and 5. Cedar huddling, leading 17-14, 6.5 left to play in a Region 9 showdown at Desert Hills. 2 receivers right, 1 wide left, 2 in the backfield next to Garrett. In the shotgun. Desert Hills showing some pressure from the outside. Quick slant over the middle. Cook makes the catch, holds on through the hit, and has the first down.
Cook, that's 2 series in a row where Cook has just been smacked on a crossing route, and he said, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to hold on to this ball. I'm going to do what my team needs me to do. That time it was Braxton Turnbow with a big hit. His brother delivered the last one.
6 yards on that catch. Puts Jack Cook at 5 receptions for 44 yards. Again, last week against Canyon View, 6 receptions, a $144 and 3 touchdowns. But that catch just as big as anything he had against Canyon View. 1st and 10. Garrett, quarterback keeper, dives forward and dove away from a big hit, gained a couple.
God, you know what I would call if those safeties are right there on that slant every time? Run a slant and go. Let Garrett give a hard pump fake on that slant across the middle. He loves the pump fake. Give him a hard pump fake and then burn them deep. I really think that would be effective because these safeties are right on these slant routes.
Charles Cook brings the play in. Cedar huddling, taking their time. Down under 5 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Invite you to stay tuned for our Brad's Food Hut post-game show coming up shortly. 2nd down and 7. And delay of game. You knew it was coming before too long the way Cedar was taking its time.
Yeah, Bennett's on the sideline saying he was trying to call a timeout. And I don't know, I would say maybe lucky he didn't get it. If you burn your last timeout, I don't know, it's a close game and you need those timeouts.
5 yards, makes it 2nd and 12. Does that change your play call from 2nd and 7? Cedar quickly out of the huddle, so probably not. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Garrett with Brinkerhoff on his left, White on his right, and Brian White moves early. False start will push Cedar back 5 more yards.
Oh, man. And the plague of the game has continued to ring true for this Cedar High offense.
102 yards on 13 Reds penalties. Back to their 37 for 2nd down and 17. Thunder making some noise, the fans. Same formation. Option, right side, Brinkerhoff, big room, great blocking downfield across the 50, 45, 40. 1st down and more, Seth Brinkerhoff.
A beautiful, beautiful speed option play, the same one I've been talking about. They fake the zone to Brian White and then run the speed option out the right side. Jaron Garrett's such a dangerous runner, so he's able to pitch it out to Brinkerhoff, who turns it into a huge gain. And the thing I love most about Brinkerhoff, has he ever fumbled the ball?
Not that I.
On that
you better
one,
find some wood to knock on.
On that one, I swear that ball was coming out. and he just keeps it high and tight, 3 points of contact at all times.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Quick throw out to Cook. Jack makes the catch, eludes a couple tacklers, and gets down to the 35 for a gain of 4. And I want to go back to that run by Brinkerhoff. Charles Cook, the receiver, blocking downfield. That probably gave Brinkerhoff an extra 15 yards.
Yeah, that was one thing that was always extremely important. I played tight end, so I would occasionally go out with the receivers, but almost at least twice a week, a whole receiver's practice would be about blocking downfield and how important it is. It can make or break drives and touchdowns.
2 receivers left. Cook wide right. That's Charles on the right side. 2 in the backfield next to Garrett. Option right side. The pitch, and Brinkerhoff, not much room. He just has to lower the shoulders and go down hard, about the 33.
Brian White had a nice pancake block on the cornerback on that one. So that one they faked the jet sweep as opposed to faking the zone read. And then Brian White is the lead blocker for the speed option. And that one with not quite as much success brings up a 3rd and 5 for the Reds.
Big moment. We're down to under 2.5 left to play. If Cedar can pick up another first down, Desert Hills would have to start burning timeouts. Reds a 3rd and 5.
Cedar gets the play call in quickly and up to the line.
2 receivers right side on the short side of the field, ball on the right hash. Garrett takes the snap, option left side. He's got the first down and a little bit more inside the 20 or the 35 to the 29.
The exact same play that they ran on the last 3rd down. Fake the zone, turn it into the speed option. This time Garrett fakes the pitch, tucks it himself, gets about 5.5, 6 yards, enough for a first down. And like you said, a minute 50 and running on the clock. So when does Desert Hills start taking timeout?
Cedar taking its time. They got to be careful here not to take too much time. They got a delay of game earlier. 138, 137 left to play. Cedar leads 17-14. 2 receivers right. Garrett taking his time. He's waiting for the official to start that 5 second. The official puts his hand up with 10 and then counts 5, 4. Garrett calls for the snap, gets it at 2. Brian White up the middle. 2 hands on the football, dives to the 25 with a minute 19 to play.
Desert Hills does, in fact, take a timeout. Oh, no, they did call one. They for sure called one, so I believe that was their 2nd timeout.
That explains why they wouldn't have called one before that play just then.
40 seconds each time. So they run this play. Yeah, if they do hold Cedar can kick a field goal from where they're at. But Desert Hills would have roughly 30 to 40 seconds maybe on the clock if they do get the ball back. But if Cedar gets a first down, that will be ball game. Cedar will be able to just take a knee and call it in a fun game. Not necessarily what I expected. I haven't seen a lot of Desert Hills ball games, but I mean, I know they're always a pretty high-powered offense, but definitely not what I was expecting from Cedar. I think Desert Hills has done a great job defensively and kept it a decently low-scoring ball game on both sides.
Invite you to stay tuned for our Brad's Food Hut post-game show, including the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy player of the game. Minute 19 to play, 2nd down and 6. You give again to Brian White. 2 hands on the football, dives into a pile, still churning his feet, breaks loose of the pile, and gets a first down inside the 20. Brian White coming out of that pile and moves the chains, effectively winning the football game.
That'll do it for the ball game. Desert Hills calls their last timeout with a minute 10 left, and Cedar should be able to just take a couple knees and let this one tick down all the way to 0. What a run there by Brian White. He was balled up literally 2 yards after the line of scrimmage, and the pile was kind of moving side to side, and then all of a sudden he spins out the back of the pile and and has enough for a first down.
Man, that was reminiscent of, you see runs sometimes like Marshawn Lynch going into a pile, and then suddenly he breaks free and picks up a couple more yards or more and picks up the first down. What a run by Brian White.
It can get a little awkward when you get into a big pile like that. It almost helps you stay up, right? There's nowhere for you to fall, and so if you can keep your feet and keep turning your feet, and as long as the officials don't blow it dead, you can oftentimes turn that into a big game just because the pile doesn't let you go down.
Cedar in the win formation. Garrett takes a knee back at the 24 with 1:05 and counting. So Thunder Hills scored first. Cedar reeled off 17 unanswered. The Thunder put up another score to make it 17-14. And then Cedar holds on to the ball. When this game ends, they'll have held on to the football for the final 7:53. Garrett takes a knee again at the 30. Seth Brinkerhoff points to his teammates on the sideline, heads that direction, and starts the celebration. Under 30 to go, and Cedar has come away with a 17-14 victory.
What a fun game. I do hurt for Desert Hills. They kind of just had it rough as far as schedule goes. When you start out with 3 straight losses in Region 9, it can be very hard to think that you're a good team and to think that you can come back from something like that as far as confidence goes when you start 0-3.
17-14. There's the final couple seconds off the clock. Reds lift the helmets to the Thunder and vice versa. Cedar comes in and leaves with a 17-14 victory. As I mentioned, the Reds got the football, forcing that fumble with 7:53 left in the fourth quarter, and in 10 plays plus 2 knees ran out that final almost 8 minutes off the clock. Stay tuned. We've got your Brad's Food Hut post-game wrap-up. We'll award the Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy Player of the Game, give you some final stats and more right after this on Thunder 91.
Hermes Drive-In is happy to sponsor youth activities in our area. They are located just north of the City Park on Main Street. Hermes features burgers, shakes, fries, and soft drinks, and a variety of other items, including scones. Hermes Drive-In, 294 North Main Street, Cedar City. Five Buck Pizza now has 2 locations in Cedar City. 5 Buck offers pizza in 8-inch to 16-inch sizes. And in addition to the 30-inch Beast, they also have cinnamon bread, cheese bread, and chicken wings. 5 Buck Pizza for carry-out and delivery, too. 5 Buck Pizza located at 1390 South Providence Center and now on North Main Street as well. 5 Buck Pizza, happy to support athletics and other activities of local high schools. Township Pharmacy is located near the hospital just off Main Street, and Bullock's Drug is downtown. Each pharmacy can fill your prescriptions, and they're happy to bring this broadcast your way. Curbside service available or inside the pharmacy. Township Pharmacy. Brad's Food Hut is happy to present this broadcast. Brad's is a traditional fixture in Cedar City and features the Bronco Burger, fish and chips, grilled cheese, and grilled turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, shakes, and of course, soft drinks. Brad's is located on North Main Street in Cedar City.
Back for your Township Pharmacy and Bullock Drug post-game wrap-up. The Cedar Reds fell behind early as they punted, went a 3-and-out on their first possession. On Desert Hills' ensuing possession, Noah Fuilatolo found Josh Crandall 30 yards for the score, and Desert Hills went up 7-0. The Reds answered with a 35-yard field goal by Hernandez Hinojosa. Both teams exchanged punts. Then Cedar put a touchdown on the board, a 25-yard touchdown run by Seth Brinkerhoff, put Cedar up 10-7, and that would end up being Cedar up for good. Neither team scored much until late in the third quarter. Cedar put up another touchdown. Brian White on a 4-yard drive into the end zone. Fuilatolo would find Austin Turnbow on a 16-yard touchdown pass to make it 17-14, and that would do it for the scoring. Cedar forced a fumble, took possession with 7:53 left in the fourth quarter, and ran 8 plays, then took a knee twice to run out that final almost 8 minutes of the ball game and win 17-14. That's your Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy postgame, or no, sorry, the Brad's Food Hut postgame wrap-up. Parker, Cedar came in. You mentioned it early on. You noticed them being very methodical, taking all the time they could in the play clock, and it looked like they were playing for a lower-scoring, ball-control victory, which what it turned out to be.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. Again, like you said, coming in our pregame, we were kind of saying, can Cedar sustain that very high-powered offense? And I think that they just realized that, hey, Desert Hills has a bunch of good DBs, so let's just keep the ball out of their hands. Let's run the ball with Seth Brinkerhoff. Who knew that he was going to have a huge game like that? And, let's kind of switch it up. Let's give them something that they haven't seen on film yet. And I think it turned out to be a tremendous win here for the Reds. A great game design, great game plan, and just an awesome game for the Reds.
I had Cedar with 311 yards of offense, 218 of those on the ground, and Desert Hills with 226 yards of offense, 183 through the air. And my stats, just 3 rushing yards in the second half for Desert Hills. Seth Brinkerhoff, the leading rusher tonight, 18 carries, 137 yards, and a touchdown. And Brian White, some critical carries, all in the second half, 4 for 18 yards, including that 4-yard touchdown, and maybe just as big. Didn't put points on the board, but that 8-yard run where he pushed the pile and picked up the first down that sealed the win. Yeah,
great stuff from the run game. I really just wasn't expecting it. Coming into this game, I literally said it in the pregame. I said, Jaron Gary's going to have to get something going. He's going to have to, move the ball around to maybe open up the run game. I didn't think that it was going to be just the run game taking over. Seth Brinkerhoff did a great job. The O-line did a great job. The play designs were awesome. Like I said, that trap zone running away from the trip side where the whole defense is on the trip side, and then you run a trap back to the other side with a pulling guard. It was a lot of fun. I think that Cedar did a really good job with their game plan as far as execution. There were obviously times that it was poor as far as execution goes. I think when they really turned it around was when they said, all right, we're going to go 2-back set. Our run is working. We're just going to hand the ball off here and there. Jack Cook came up with a couple of huge catches for first downs. And I think just all around a great performance from Cedar. And then on the Desert Hill side of the ball, they just could never get into a rhythm. I don't know if Fua Latolo is this is just his first year leading the offense. I'm assuming it is. He's a sophomore, but yeah, I just felt like it wasn't ever in rhythm. I just felt like they didn't have anything going. It was either going to be a big play or we were going to go 3 and out and punt the ball away.
Right.
So I just felt like they never got into a rhythm, and part of that is credit to the Cedar offense, the Cedar defense, which actually leads me into my player of the game. I should give it to Seth Brinkerhoff, but I've given it to an offensive player every time, so I'm going to go with Peyton Murray. Man.
I like it.
I felt like time and time again I was calling out his name in big plays. And the thing that was incredibly impressive to me is a lot of people's defensive stats get padded on half tackles, and you were there, you were a part of the game tackling. I would say he had 5 or 6 solo tackles just by himself. He just did a great job getting pressure on Fua Latolo and making him uncomfortable, tackling in the backfield. Peyton Murray did a great job, had a huge game for the Reds, and he is my player of the game.
Player of the game brought to you by Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy, and I like that pick. Murray disrupting the backfield, his tackles in the backfield. You think about a 3-point Cedar win and go back to that goal line stand and how many tackles Murray made on that stand where Cedar maintained the lead, kept Desert Hills out of the end zone. Great pick. I love it. Bullock Drug and Township Pharmacy player of the game. This has been your Brad's Food Hut and Carter Creek Concrete to Go post-game wrap-up. Now, looking ahead to next week, Parker, Cedar is hosting Hurricane, and Canyon View hosts Desert Hills. So we'll cover one of those 2 games and get to stay in Cedar for the game, either at Cedar or at Canyon View. and looking forward to that next Friday night.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. I guess I could have looked up some score updates. If you can talk for a second, I'll try and find some Region 9 score updates for us real quick.
I don't know. It depends on the context. My wife sometimes says that I need to talk more and I have nothing to say, but I've got a football game to talk about. I can say plenty of stuff. Jaron Garrett, an effective night, 11 of 19. He goes for 93 yards, no touchdown passes, but ran for 66 yards as well. And leading receiver tonight for Cedar was Jack Cook. You mentioned a couple possession receptions, big time, and not the big padded numbers like we saw last week from Jack Cook, but boy, just another great night from him. 6 catches, 48 yards. As for Desert Hills, Fui Lutolo goes 14 of 23, $183, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. And the leading rusher was also Fui Lutolo, 9 carries, 18 yards for the Thunder.
So the last thing I have from Devin Dixon over at ESPN 97.7, 8 minutes ago he tweeted 1-yard touchdown run for Cacao, which is Pineview. Score is 36-35, Pineview back on top.
Wow.
So they gave the ball back to Snow Canyon, and I don't know what happened yet. So 36-35 for Pineview Snow Canyon. Pineview with a 1-point lead. Not sure how much time is in that ball game, but a lot of fun Region 9 games. So do some research and figure out who won them.
We want to thank Nate Coombs back in the studio tonight, running the board and keeping us going on the radio. Thank you, Parker, for coming down again. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to doing more games with you.
Always. Thank you for having me.
Thank all of our sponsors. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, thanks for listening on Thunder 91.